Pleasant good morning to the listeners of Nice Radio and in particular listeners of the Newtimes Program. This is the Newtimes Program for Wednesday the 5th of July. June, where did I read July already? Wednesday the 5th of June. I'm your host today, Clement Robert Francois. Thanks for joining me on today's program. This program is a production of the New Democratic Party of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The president and leader is Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday, and he is a 5 times elected representative of the Northern Grenadines. It's an interactive program, and I need to open the lines. The numbers to call are 784-456-5967. That's 784-456-5967. Or Magic Jack 718-734-5615. That's 718-734-5615. Or you can reach us by WhatsApp 784-498-3802. That's 784-498-3802. You can send us email bdsnice@gmail.com. That's bdsnice@gmail.com. Or you can link me up by way of my Facebook page or by WhatsApp. As usual, we begin the program by reading from the Bible. And this morning, our reading is one I love to read often. Psalm 1. Psalm 1. Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of sinners, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by the streams of water, which yield its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prosper. Not so the wicked, they are like the chaff which the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. That's Psalm 1 for our reading this morning. And it's now 11 minutes to the 11 o'clock hour on this Wednesday. Today we normally have with us in studio Major the Honorable Sinclair Leacock, Parliamentary Representative for Central Kingston and one of the Vice President of the New Democratic Party. We're also joined by Andrew John, a candidate for the New Democratic Party for South Windward. They will probably join us later. They are engaged in some meetings, so I'm not too sure what time they will get here. So we'll have to monitor that. So we may be on our own today. Wasn't planning on that, but we'll see how that works out. We may be on our own today. So then you'll have all day to call. As I said, 784-456-5967. And so we'll have open mic today, and as we're being joined by our friends. So we'll have basically an open mic today. All right. So we could look forward to that. Also, today's Wednesday. I will be giving you the registration schedule for today, Wednesday, the 5th of June. We have to get that to you today also. And remember, when we go that most registration is from 3 or 3:30, depends on how far it is. So get there for 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. And persons desirous of being registered must take along their birth certificate, marriage or citizenship certificate, along with a photocopy. All right, so keep those in mind. I just want to say pleasant hello. Let me say good morning to the driver of PB952. That's one of those small cars, a kind of pinkish brown, if that's such a color. Paso, I think the vehicle is PB952. It's almost run me off the road this morning. And you know, a lady was driving. Yes. A lady was driving. Did me some serious bad driving. I had to pull off and slamming on my brakes. So just want to say good morning to you. Hope that you got to where you were going in a hurry. I hope you got there safely. And my advice to you is to please don't drive anybody else like that, because if I didn't have the reflexes, we'd have to be there waiting on police to come and do the measurements and blocking up the road. All right, so good morning, driver of PB952. I know who did the research. All right, so have a nice day. Have a nice day. See, so I'm wishing you all the best because I think God favored both of us this morning that I was able to avoid that accident you, I don't know, deliberately wanted to create. So, good morning to you. All right, so 8 minutes to the 11 o'clock. I'm going to give you the registration schedule for today, the 5th of June. And as usual, we'll start in North Windward. Member registration take place between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. And persons desirous of being registered must take along their birth certificate, marriage or citizenship certificate, along with a photocopy where necessary. All right? So keep that in mind. So June 5th, Langley Park Government School. We get that up. Langley Park Government School. That is for North Windward. That's the constituency that Chevron John will be securing for the Democratic Party in the next general election. North Central Windward. That's the one we need to move. Let me get North Central Windward. As I said, this computer these days, I don't know why it want to misbehave. Anyhow, June 5th, Park Hill Government School. Park Hill Government School. South Central Windward. Brother Bruce, South Central Windward registration today will be at the Diamond Government School. Diamond Government School. South Windward registration today, June the 5th, and today is Wednesday, will be the Stubbs Government School. Stubbs Government School. All right. Brother John, keep that in mind. America registration schedule. June the 5th, America Government School, America Government School. Eastern George registration today, June 5th, will be at the Calico Town Hall. So the Town Hall, today, those of you in Calico, shouldn't to get registered, get everything organized to ensure the Democratic Party does what it needs to do, okay? Western George, registration today in Western George will be at the Bel Air Government School, the Bel Air Government School. That's Western George. What did I miss now? East Kingston, yes. East Kingston registration today will be at the C.W. Prescott Primary School. C.W. Prescott Primary School. Central Kingston registration today will be at the Police Band Room in Lago Heights. The Police Band Room in Lago Heights. That's Central Kingston. West Kingston registration will be at the Public Health Building in Rose Place. Public Health Building, Rose Place. South Leeward registration will be at the Kittles Police Station. The Kittles Police Station, keep that in mind. Central Leeward registration today will be at the Barley Government School. Barley Government School. All right, remember registration, most cases 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. And you must walk along with your birth certificate. All right, marriage and our citizenship certificate and a photocopy. Okay, so you get those. North Leeward, registration today will be at the Spring Village Police Station. Spring Village Police Station. And we head down to Beckway, where our leader is from. Bonde, by the way. Friendly Society Hall in Port Elizabeth. The Friendly Society Hall in Port Elizabeth. Union Island registration today will be at the Tourism Information Bureau in Clifton. The Tourism Information Bureau in Clifton. And in Canaan registration is always at the Canaan Administrative Center, okay? So those are your venues for today. Go out, get registered. Also double check your ID, because some people ID just be out and they don't know. Double check. Go now. Don't wait. Give you a chance to go and check it. Go and check your ID now. Make sure everything is, as they say, locked. At least 6 months on it. Make sure everything good. All right. So go and check your ID. If you have persons in your home who have now attained the age of 18, then you need to go and check on them also. Make sure that they get registered and get ready to vote in the New Democratic Party. All right, we have to look forward to that day when the New Democratic Party take the reign of government, not power, government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and things get nice again. Things get nice again. All right, so we have to look forward to that. I'm seeing some issues here. Can't find something. I don't know why they hide it, apparently. Let's see. Okay. All right, so 2 minutes to 11 o'clock hour. We're going to get rolling. We're going to get rolling.
The kingdom must come down. The kingdom must come down.
Oh my, yeah. Oh my. Afraid this society, Lord knows, afraid it real bad. Is the one that tell me how more people ain't done gone mad. You know you can't even speak the truth, cause they will treat you like a brute. If you only say government neglecting the youth, hospital is in a bad state, the whole damn place is in a mess. And if you go down there, it might be your final rest. And if you try to criticize, you will be victimized. And they will put red pressure on you. They will squeeze you until you turn black and blue. And if you stand up for what is right, they will try hard to out your life. But listen to me, don't back down, stand your ground. Cause one day the kingdom bound to come down. The kingdom must come down. Hey. All right. The fire civil servants, police and teachers, they treat them mean. Cause the people decide they ain't taking them damn vaccine. Those who are living high and mighty don't give a damn about nobody. Once they're living good, they don't care about you or me. And if you question the politics and all them bad roads they wouldn't fix, they will try to intimidate you and threaten you with licks. And if you say unemployment high and pressure making poor people die, but they will put more pressure on you. They will squeeze you until you turn black and blue. And if you try to stand up and do what's right, they will try hard to out your life. But tell me,
Don't back down, stand your ground. Cause one day the kingdom bound to come down.
kingdom must come down. Yeah. Some of them living high on the horn, living like kings, living like emperors. Well, we can't even make ends meet. We living like beggars, you know. 10-year-old in maternity say that she going to have a baby, and the police they can't even touch what this that. Criminals in jacket and tie. No wonder the crime rate so high. Where are the role models? Some of them big shot too wicked and lie. And if you talk about the privilege, the cruelty, and how they mismanage, and they will jam more pressure on you. They will squeeze you until you turn black and blue. And if you stand up for what is right, they will try hard to out your life. But hear me, don't back down, stand your ground, cause one day the kingdom bound to come down. The kingdom must come down. Some of you wouldn't like this song because you want to keep doing wrong. So you will go and say, Patches pulling the country down. Well, if a lion get a lucky to sing a calypso to please guns, it have plenty of them who will do anything for some money. Murder, rape, and corruption is that way. Put we on the front page. Don't try to blame me. Not me putting we on the world stage. And if you wouldn't be one day, yes man, well you go feel the weight of the hand. And they go jam more pressure on you. They will squeeze you until you turn black and blue. And if you try to stand up and do what's right, don't study who put out Glenn Jackson life. Don't back down, stand your ground, cause one day the kingdom bound to come down. The kingdom must come down. And if you want a better nation, you must tackle corruption. Come here. Don't back down, stand your ground, cause one day.
This blessed country has seen its best days. Just look at it now, it's torn to pieces. How did we get to this point? Ain't no mystery. We wasted a lot of years simply mashing up the country. Now can we put the pieces together that will redeem this land? I say yes, we can, my brother.
So now we're into the height of the carnival season. That was one from Patches, the kingdom must come down. The kingdom must come down. And that is a must, you know. As I said, we're going to have open line today, 784-456-5967, until we are joined by the Major and Andrew John. Possibly, not sure if they'll be in at all or at what time, all right? So while we have all these crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and persons crying out, we have the, you know, up to this morning again, I hear persons complaining about the theft of their agriculture produce. And this continue to be a major, it is not by a slide by the night or something to be slighted. The theft of agriculture produce is a major, should be listed under the major crime unit portfolio. Is a major crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the moment. Not only is it a major crime, but it comes with a lot of pain and suffering and heartlessness, if I could say that. Where persons will watch someone rear their animals and wait till they reach out there and thief every one of them. Not some, not one, every one of them. and take them and sell them. And the butchers who are buying this kind of meat or whatever institution or whatever, we need to clamp down on all these different persons. Because they're not going to thief 9 pig unless they know they have somewhere where they could sell or somebody who's going to buy them from them. Because they're not going to eat them. They don't thief them to eat them. Thief them to sell them after the farmers have done all the work. And this government has failed to act. Failed to act. Despite all this, we have not heard anything coming from the Minister of Agriculture. We don't have anything coming from the Minister of National Security. Nothing whatsoever. Every time they have some kind of press conference, press huggings, press beefing, whatever you want to call it, is to cuss Dr. Friday. You don't need to have a press conference to cuss Dr. Friday. You can wake up every morning with Dr. Friday on your head. I don't know if you pray, but then you could do what you have to do. Because it seems like a lot of persons, or the man who hardly is obsessed with Dr. Friday. And I can't fault him, I can't fault him. Because a lot of them have to be obsessed with Dr. Friday and the New Democratic Party because they are afraid. They are afraid of what lie in wait for them when they are found wanting or meddling or pocketing the resources of this country. And that is why there is no attempt whatsoever to bring in integrity legislation. No attempt whatsoever to bring in integrity legislation because they're afraid that, like as they say, jump before holy water. They don't want that because they know leading up where there's a change of government and we have those kind of stuff, investigation, a lot of them would be for wanting. I saw Jomo had an article there sometime back in May. And what I thought about, I think it's something in 20s of May, is the fact that a lot of the things that he said in that article, right here in the studio, on the political platform, and also in the House of Parliament, we had the major saying these things over and over and over. But it's nice now that Jomo have pointed that out also, so that we have persons now who will pay more attention, because sometimes they like to say, oh, people, politics, they're talking and they're not listening to the message because they're looking at the messenger. Well, now a different messenger has come with the same message again. I see some persons have taken their head up out of the sun and say, wait, it's true. I'm going to give you some of that, I'll give you some of that as we go on this morning. Let me see. Said, social commentator and former Speaker of the House of Assembly, Jomo Thomas, say he believes that people will go to jail if some government programs were audited. So Jomo now has reinforced what the Major and the New Democratic Party was saying all along. And persons, a lot of persons, because remember, back then, accountability have always been an issue in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where this government has failed on numerous occasions to give account for the money of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have serious accountability problem, and that has always been an issue with this government. Remember, one man said he would bypass the tender board if, again, he will bypass the tender board again. So he feel he could do what he wants. So let me read, as I say, some of these articles for you. I wanted to get the major view on it, but I guess he probably heard it. So anyhow, we see. You see in some way in which the government, you see in the same way in which the government audited cable and wireless twice, got millions of dollars from them. You saw recently they found that courts owe millions of dollars to the government. Court is appealing that. In the same way that if we do an audit of the Argyle International Airport and the 900 million, most persons say the show is up in the billions, and the 900 million they said was spent. All right, so that's what they say spent. We had a proof, never saw anything about it. People are going to jail, Thomas said. Thomas, a lawyer, was a candidate for the Gonsalves Unity Labour Party in the 2015 general election, but broke ranks with the party early 2020. Before joining the ULP, he had used his column and media program to criticize the party and continued to do so even as he was a senator for the party and later House Speaker, and also after breaking ranks with the ruling administration. If we do an audit of the Petrocarib funds, in which more than 500 million was spent, people are going to jail. He further stated on Monday on Voices, his weekly talk show program on WFM. If we do an audit of the Petrocarib fund in which more than 500 million was spent, people are going to jail. And you remember, there have been many questions in the House of Parliament by the New Democratic Party and in particular Major Leacock on this Petrocarib. We know back then, since back then under Honorable Arnim Eustace, questions were being raised about Petrocarib and the way the funds were being used. And I've heard the major, and I show you have to on many occasions, in Parliament, on the platform, in the studio, saying plain talk, that if it's one time the government could have found themselves dragged before the court for misbehavior in public office, was the handling and misuse of the Petro-Caribbean money. Remember that Petro-Caribbean thing was to give us cheaper electricity, you know. Right now, Vinlec, one of Vinlec's highest costs, interestingly, yes, one of the highest costs is petrol, because they're driving up and down all over the country, cutting off people. So they have to use a lot of gas. So we were supposed to get cheaper electricity. We were supposed to get cheaper gas. When they brought in the gas from Petrocarib, they say it's cheap gas, labor gas, cheap gas. That gas is just as high as any other gas now. Ain't nothing cheap about it. Every Monday morning, gas price going up. People stop discussing it. Because you put up by the gas, if you only could buy 20, you buy 20. If you only could buy 40, you buy 40. Long ago, you pull up, you buy 40, the gas gauge on your vehicle smile and go up. Say thank you very much. Nowadays, you put in $40 gas, the gas gauge watching you like, why did you pull up in the gas station to put $40 gas in me? Where you think I be? You know, I'm not a little child. I need a proper. Because $40 gas ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere again. But guess what? These guys have travel allowance. And some of them could pull up in gas station and just sign the bill and drive back out. We can't do that. We, the ordinary common man, can't do that. So we have to bob and weave and see how we could make it. So we didn't get any benefit whatsoever. The Petrocarib money was supposed to use for development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. so that by the time we pay it back, we'd have had sustainable development. Let me put it that way. So you take that money and you invest it maybe in agro-industry or in some new agriculture initiative or some production plant or something. So that will be the producing and bringing income into the country. So when the time comes for us to pay back that money, we have put it to use. But what have they put it to use to do? Most of the time, school children say, is to bribe people for election. That's where most of the money gone. And to get persons contract for nothing. So let us get the audit. We haven't got that audit. So I go back to the article by Jomo Thomas there. That's on Eyewitness News, by the way. Let me give Eyewitness News, as usual, necessary credit. As the others edit the thing, they must just vex. Anyhow, they ain't go sue me. If we do an audit of the Petrocare Fund, in which more than 500 million was spent, people are going to go to jail, he further stated on Monday on Voice, his weekly talk show program. If we do an audit, a proper audit of the port, people are going to jail. So reach to the port again. And you know the rumors. Listen, where there's a little smoke, fire being there, or fire coming. All these rumors, of who invested in trucking company. All of a sudden, people invested in trucking company who never had trucking company to ensure that any benefit from the port, they're getting it. They're getting it. So that's how. Okay, just checking something there. All right. That's what happening. So the port, then man getting contract, all of a sudden man come welder, man come mason, man come builder, man could supply this and supply that. So if we do a proper audit, going back to the article again, of the port, that's what the article say, people are going to jail again. Remember 86 million that we got from the Kuwaitis to build the roads back in 2014, 2015. If we do an audit of how the 85 million was spent, people are going to jail. I don't know if Jomo was writing a calypso. That's a nice chorus. Who going to jail? So the money for the road, 2014, 2015, we need an audit, people go in jail. Just imagine that. Thomas discussed recent comment by PM Gonsalves about assessors finding about the damage to house caused by the April 2021 eruption of La Soufrière. That's another one, That's a classic. Gonsalves said that the assessors force report that some 600 houses were damaged. He said he told the assessors that they had to be joking. These are qualified people in that field, They come with 600, he tell them they're joking. All right. He accused them of looking at the houses when they were locked up and the occupants in emergency shelter. So he say, name assessors, but y'all don't know better than me, and y'all don't know how to do your job, y'all don't know how to assess. Go with the 600. He said that when the second assessment was done, so they're under pressure now. They're not working, they're no longer working independently. Just like the planning board, just like a lot of the government institutions, no longer independent. They're afraid. Carl or Ralph, is that your name? They're afraid them bad. They have lost their backbone and the spine and the cojones that they now feel they must jennifer and deliver not what their professional judgment gave them, but what they think the man wants. All right. So Prime Minister said that when the second assessment was done, the number of houses damaged by the volcano rose to 1,400. So they go from 600 to 1,400. That's what, 800 more? Yes. That's over 100% increase in it. But here it is. Gonzalez said he told the assessor that the number would rise to about 2,000, citing his experience in the 1979 eruption and his research. 1979. You want to tell me the damage caused by volcanic eruption in 1979 should be the same in 2000? In the 2000s? Are you telling me that? We don't make no improvement. Persons weren't able to get out and so quicker? Anyhow. The Prime Minister said that the homeowners may have to change a few sheets of galvanized immediately after the eruption. All right, so listen to this part. Gonzalez said recently that his government had a lot of money for home repairs. You know what I mean? Bragging about how much money they have to build houses. Money was pouring in. Everybody in St. Vincent thought they'd get a new house. The amount of money coming from donors and all things, they say they are wash hundreds of millions of dollars they lying down there to repair and to help with COVID and suffering. Two of them combined. Money being flowing into this country. Just like all of the water tanks that flow in. And just like the water tanks that leave down there to waste and the benefit don't reach the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines. The money waste, it disappearing in the sun, just like the tank them. Disappearing in the sun, and the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines don't have the benefit. So Gonzalez said, going back and forth from the article, Gonzalez said recently that his government had a lot of money for housing repair, including some from a loan from the Sudi Fund. The government has borrowed $135 million from the Saudi government, of which EC 35.1, the largest portion, will go to the rehabilitation and rebuilding of homes damaged by the volcanic eruption. In other words, election campaign, and those will go basically North Windward, North Leeward, and North Central Windward. That is where the bulk will go. The other day, when they had some houses, more people in North Central Windward got more houses. In fact, North Central Windward got more in volcano relief than North Windward and North Leeward put together. How that possible? How that possible? Thomas said, now think about this. Professionals went out after the eruption of April 2012. They made an assessment. The Prime Minister told them, go back. They updated the number to 1,400. He said, look, it's going to be about 2,000. The man is a magician. He noted that Gonzalez also said his government was borrowing money from Saudi Arabia for housing repairs, among other public infrastructural development projects. But Thomas doubted that 2,000 houses are damaged by volcanic eruption. Well, 2,000 may not be damaged, but 2,000 need to repair because they need votes. Because Chevron, John have been making so much inroads in North Windward and in North Leeward, even while the New Democratic Party in the process of announcing that candidate, they still making inroads in North Windward, Leeward, with the one vote man, the outer place one vote man. So they want to beef up those two constituencies because, hey, North Leeward and North Windward gone to the NDP. NDP keeping all of the 6 seats. Right there is 8. Right there alone is 8. Somebody trying to come in on the WhatsApp. Let me see if I get that. Good morning, Newtimes.
Yes.
The person on the WhatsApp, you are in. Good morning.
Good morning. If the numbers that the assessors brought back to him were not correct, why did he send them out? Why did
Send
he
them
just
back
go
out?
and hello?
Yes, what are you saying? Why did he send them back out, or why did he send them out in the first place?
Why did he send them back or send them in the first place? If he knows the numbers, why did he send them? You already have the numbers.
Probably want to get them a job. Because he know from day one based on his research and experience. Remember, he know everything. He know it's going to be 2,000. So you're correct.
You don't
Why he
predict
send them out?
well, right? So you already have the numbers. You don't predict how many houses you want to repair or give. So why send the assessors out? That's my point. I forgot one. I'm listening.
I hear you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. The boss say, yeah, why send them out? Boy, I don't know. Watch your man, eh? Thomas noted that the volcano red zone about northern third of St. Vincent is the least populated part of the island. Let us say there are some 6,000 homes in that area. The PM telling us that a third of all the homes were damaged and that necessitated millions of dollars. And this is millions of dollars in addition to the millions that have been spent before. They say they don't spend millions, but nobody in some of these areas could point and say, yeah, man, look, millions of dollars spent there. Look all the houses in this area repair. Look the road repair. Look the infrastructure throughout the country in them areas repair. Nobody can say that. He said that he had checked people living in the other side of St. Vincent. And clearly, there's not the amount of damage to amount to 2,000 homes. Because the idea is not to repair volcanic thing, but to give people homes or thing under the guise of volcanic eruption repairs to try and get votes. This government is involved in bribery. And the last report said that they're bribing people. It is a bribe when you come out and do these things knowing that your aim is to that. Whoever, boy, let me tell you something. Let me go down. He said, and clearly this is not the amount of damage to 2,000 homes. Clearly, where am I? Clearly, there is some reason why this number is being padded. He said, "That's what you must say." He said they're padding it. Other than this case, when the Prime Minister would become better than the professional assessors, what that lady said, these are professional assessors, because people don't joke when it comes to their millions of dollars. Twice he sent them out. The professionals went out twice, and on both occasions, they couldn't get the figure right. The Prime Minister did not go out. He based on his experience and 79 eruption, and he came out with the correct figure of 2,000 homes, while the professionals who went to university and all over the place, we say they went to university, they come back stupid. They went to university all over the place, they come back, and they were given the job. Twice they went out in the field, these professionals, and they still come up with the wrong figure. The Prime Minister didn't go out, no way. And he come up with the correct figure. Watch a man. Watch a country. Watch accountability. Watch how we maneuver and manipulate the finances and the spending of this government. Look at it. So, back to the article. Thomas said he spoke recently to someone in North Leeward who said that in their village, fewer than 10 houses were destroyed or had collapsed roof as a result of the eruption. So how does it get from 600 to 2,000? Joe, it get to that because election coming. Plain and straightforward. I know you know that, Plain and straightforward. Why are we going to tell me? Why are you going to tell me that you're borrowing millions of dollars to fix homes that were not damaged? You'll make up stories that houses were damaged, and this fly in the face of the information that we got from the professionals who you sent and who we all assume were trained to do the job. So he sent them out, train people to go do assessment, but he did not give them the full terms of reference. And that's where the problem lies. So they were supposed to, I think, that's why here, school children say, they were supposed to do the assessment of these houses that need repairs. They were supposed to do the assessment of persons who have changed from the ULP to NDP. They were supposed to do assessment of persons who they think borderline. They were supposed to do assessment of persons who they could move from one constituency into the next. Maybe, I don't know. From North Central, Windward, and carry them up to North Windward to try and save we named Montgomery. No, not Montgomery. Montgomery. I think most people bet Montgomery Daniel, aka Montgomery Daniel. All right. Right. So that's what they did. So there we go. As you sit in an office in Kingston and conclude that the number given is more than 3 times the amount that the assessor said it was. Yeah, the man sat down in the office and do that. Bright guy, bright, brilliant, smart is the right word, smart. This cannot be right. This cannot be right in a democracy. And for the reason that I've already said, that one of the first things of a new government must be do a serious audit of these programs that this government has executed. He say, don't wait. Said, let me see this. But we are still waiting on what happened to the 95 million disappear. The Minister of Finance think we forget. 95. What experience the fellow who had it here had an assessment of damage in 1979? Election. But I'm smelling election relocation. Vincent will have to keep a close eye on what's taking place with that. Yeah. So the idea is to give people and repair people houses and move people into those constituencies. Have to be where you get 2,000 of them. Thomas said it is shocking that none of the major newspapers have not picked up on the story. He said that further, the progressive who commented in a previous dispensation have said absolutely them progressive gone. They had the progressive and the, what it be? Joe, you one of them. What the name again? Can't remember. You don't hear from them. All the progressive have made progress. Financial progress under this government. The progressive have made financial progress under this government, and the mouth, the tongue drop out of their mouth. Or they're so busy licking boots that they can't use the tongue, they can't speak. They're busy licking boots. That is what happened. But if we are seriously concerned, back to the article about transparency, if we are seriously concerned about accountability, we'll begin to pay attention to these things, because that money that they are borrowing on the cities to say that they're going to build a house, that's going to be another issue of serious contention. They're going to use the money. School children had a survey, they say they're going to use the money for election campaign. Maybe not directly to the party, but by trying to build and repair houses to get people back in the favor. Remember, it was said in Parliament that Brewster, well, if you go back to what was said before by Julian Francis, is that put the guy like he and the Prime Minister now to spend money. So you have millions of dollars for house repair. There's no way, Brewster, you too black, and you being in the church, you can't spend this kind of money. You will not know how to wheel and deal the money properly to get election benefit. You ain't gonna know that. So we can't leave you that kind of money. You think If Julian Francis still being in the government and he was in charge of housing, that the prime minister gonna take the money from me? No way, no way, no way. But Brewster, you can't spend that kind of money. And maybe they think because he just go church, but they wrong long enough for them that wherever, blessed is the man that walketh not. The counsel of the ungodly. And you don't go on in this way, you don't get staying up. So the guys want to spend the money for benefits. Who benefiting? I don't know. But they want to spend it so people can benefit. Who benefiting? We need accountability. They allow all the police station in St. Vincent and Grenadines to run down to the ground. So now we read, you know what? I want to go back. I should look, there was a presentation that people had requested to replay Major League Cock in Parliament discussing this $135 million. I go look for it. I go play it back. It's still relevant. It is still relevant in light of all these things. Remember, the Major said, even before Jomo write it down, I'm glad Jomo pick up on it and continued it, that the Petro-Carib somebody would have go to jail for misbehavior in public office. He said that many times on the platform. He said that in Parliament too. And he said that in the studio. If there's one thing I remember clearly, Brother Adam Eustace, many times he sit down here in the studio, across from me. I could see him there right now in that chair. And sometimes we have a break, running ads, and he will look me in the face, many occasions, and he say, people have to understand, I am serious, And he does stick the feet. I'm serious. I'm going to get added to all these things, and anybody who thief money, they're going to jail. Well, he don't use word like thief. He can probably say misappropriate or divert. I saying thief. They're going, and he was serious. If it's one thing Brother Annie was serious about, is you dip your hand in public fund, you put it on a handcuff. Plain and straight. This corruption, this government has easily be the most corrupt government. What did I say? Since what on Congress? Since something on Congress. Whatever they say. Or since civilization and Congress or whatever. Easily the most corrupt administration that has passed through St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Listen, and I said this yesterday now, Not only we have a lot of corruption, not only we have a lot of corruption, but we have greed. Good morning, Newtimes.
Sorry about that. Morning, good morning.
Go on, what's up, P?
Sorry about. Yeah.
Sorry yeah, man, respect. That. Good morning.
I do. Yeah, thank you. You're going on a very, very excellent program, very good program. The way you start the program, I want people to understand this. Without a foundation, let's use the registration as the foundation. And I still continue, and I will continue to call upon the rest host to do that. Let the people know where they're going and where you could preach, you could get filed, you could preach paragraph. If people do not be registered, they wouldn't have. Without a ticket, you have a chance. And people have to understand this thing. You're just punching at the other issues, but then I want to change, but I have no ticket, so therefore I can't go. Mm-hmm. No, the billboard is will create a lot of differences. And what it's showing that when you do something and people continue showing you're bringing the attention. But then if this administration really want to understand these kind of things, that if the billboard are affecting and why continue to speak about it. What you're speaking about gun amnesty and this and all of these kind of things. Up to now, I still I've said it already and I continue saying it and I will continue saying it. We want to know who get caught, what becomes of the ammunition that
Mm-hmm.
are below the cabinet port. Up to now, we ain't hearing anything. So they just say you're beating up Friday. Friday is not the issue. You, as a minister of justice, come out and tell the nation, let me hear about these things. Let me hear. Let the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines hear of what's going on about these things. When you just cut thing in your tongue, put in a blind eye on it, it ain't just you, but just every minute you're beating up on Friday. It ain't just you, but you're beating up on Friday. Why? If you know these things, it ain't affecting. What I was saying, when Christmas coming in, in particular, you're expecting some visitors, you put a little paint on your house and thing, so that they could see a new attraction. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what he's supposed to do. Try to attract the people into a different aspect. But now, as you're hearing again, we're speaking about this money business with repairing house and building house and all this. I got to, I want my people to really take heed and take step where I'm really supporting the cross country road now because I know it will mash up our water system. But where is the cross country road
Mm-hmm.
that we promised? And if it can be done, never heard not anything why it shouldn't be done or why it can't be done. So every time election coming up, it all can be something that they come in and trying to bribe with. Now the hospital. Remember the hospitality in this year at this time election. It was an election before. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not ULPI Day, it's the NDPI Day. And it wasn't good. The election was the hospital was good. But eventually it becomes good. Yeah, it becomes good. So all of a sudden, he have a way that unless thing in there which being the past, you have no knowledge of implementing things. So you criticize things when you just sit and then when after you really conscious and say, yeah, this is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need a change, which he have done his time. It's like a planted tree. You have a tree there and after a while you used to bear so much fruit and then you notice it in bearing. It can't produce, you ain't produce it. And then one big thing we have to be rather much careful for. People we need to look upon, whether NDP, ULP, whoever it is, accountability is very rather much important. This money is way money now because we, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, have to pay for it. And you can't love your picnic and then love the sins, right? That go down with and then when you get put caught up and you have no you get to stump up, you get put break, you can't go now. You start about oh God, and then you're bound to do them so. You then bound to do them so. Right? Prepare yourself, be prepared. People be prepared and don't allow ourselves to get fooled and get tricked. We go through that 5 years, how much years now? 23 years. Remember now, I'm a man who does like to look back at things. So say, back is death, but in this time we have to keep our focus and remember where we come from in order to. This man, Tom Clemner, he only need 2 terms in office.
Mm-hmm.
2 terms. NDP is there too long. And he do everything in his power to get out NDP. Now NDP out, give him another try. Another thing. Them they can't spend money as the rightfully said. They think we too black to spend money. Only Portuguese could spend money. And that's why I want to know. And we have the majority. Not I want to be racist and creating making racial statements. But what coming from the house mouth is what you have to look out for. He is who make it. We as black people is the majority. And he's saying it's only Portuguese. So happy. Black people have no knowledge of spending money. Thank you, but I want to say good morning to Dave Roberts, Gideon Miller. Good morning at the home. And Sweetman Ezekiel Banuel. Good morning to my people. Good morning. Yeah. Dave, there's a speech. The man you meet cracked by hospital yesterday. Thank you. Thank you, both. Thank you. Thank you, people, for listening. Thank you, both, for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you as
Yeah.
usual, brother P.
Yeah.
Thank you as usual. All
Yeah.
right, thank you. Mm. Yeah, that's a stampede. Okay, quarter minutes, 14 minutes to 11 o'clock. 14 minutes to 11 o'clock. I'm going to try and look back for that presentation by Major. And I had it somewhere, I have it somewhere. Gotta look back for it. And I'm going to try and get to it. I'm going to look for it during the break and see if I could hook up on it. Yeah, but the accountability is what we needed. And I was making the point. By the way, let me just remind you that you can call 784-456-5967, 718-734-5615, and the WhatsApp is 784-498-3802. Let me see if I think somebody is calling. Let me see. I didn't realize. Let me see if I get a call in. Good morning, New Times.
Yes, good morning, Bert.
Good morning, good morning.
Very, very good program. Hitting your firing on all cylinder. You know the
Thank
ULP
you.
minions have a way in which they just tell you, watch a government.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they telling the Vincentian people to watch a government because I will tell them, yes, watch a government who will be taking a national debt up into the stratosphere, but yet the Vincentian people languishing in extreme poverty. Watch a government who could be changing police commissioner faster than a man take a shower, but yet the crime rate is still going sky high. Watch a government who have more professional in the Ministry of Agriculture, but yet the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Sabato Caesar, can't even fill a container to ship out to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to bring valuable foreign resources into the country. Watch a government, and but you could keep going on with that. Watch a government who could take in the Vincentian people resources and pass them out to foreigners. But yet the Vincentian people cannot see any economic empowerment. Watch a government who have the infrastructure in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, greater in the road of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Watch. Vincentian people, watch a government who could be looking for ways and means in order to borrow money just to butter people to win an election. Watch a government, Vincentian people. If you cannot see this government is not working in your best interest, watch a government who have an international, say they have an international airport, but they don't even have a cargo section. People up in America buying breadfruit that they could play marble for $4 a pound. Watch a government who have not on the leeward side, or a road on the windward side, can't even ship them out to bring money in the country. All they're doing is running a government, borrowing loans upon loans, putting a hook in the throat of future generation. And I could tell you, yes, watch a government for all the negative reasons, because I don't see nothing improving about the standard of living of the Vincent people. Have a good day, my brother.
Thank you, boss. Thank you. Yeah, as you say, watch a government. What are they doing? What are they doing? Right? What are they doing? Good
Good,
morning, New Times.
good morning, both. What's a government who waited until 1825 days before he could feed the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? 5 years, 1825 days coming and he still can't feed them yet. What the people in this country who they don't hungry? You can't wait until them days they come to some feed one dead and come back alive. What's a government? 1825 days before he could see come feed the children. Gone.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah, boy. It's just remarkable. You know, the things that people find to complain about. These are things, millions of dollars, that our children have to pay back. Millions of dollars, and we don't have nothing to show for it. No accountability, nothing. But they want us to put them back there again, forget more money. Lord of mercy. Good morning, New Times.
Yeah, hi, Bert.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
Yeah. Morning, Bert. A couple of things. You know who this is.
Yes, yes, sure, go
All
ahead.
right, good. Right. A couple of things. Very interesting conversation. Very interesting points you're raising, and I'm liking the response that's coming in. There's a couple of things that I just want you to raise that for you to give some thought on. You spoke a bit earlier about the Pradia larceny situation
Hmm.
and people losing their livestock,
Yes, I did, yes.
agitating all of it and so on. Now, there is a piece of legislation in St. Lucia. I don't know if it is in St. Vincent, and perhaps you can check it out. It is it's called cattle branding and butchering legislation.
Hmm.
Cattle branding and butchering legislation, or the act, or whatever it is called. This is an old piece of legislation here in St. Lucia. What it does, right, according to the law, it requires that anybody who is going to slaughter cattle must receive permission to do so from the competent authorities, including perhaps from a justice of the peace.
Okay.
I'm raising this to say that I don't know if there's such a legislation still on the books in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, this would have been legislation from way back when there was common legislation throughout the Windward Islands. So I will not be surprised if there is, in fact, such legislation on the books. If there still is that legislation, clearly that legislation is not being enforced. If it has been repealed, then clearly there may be need to look at what that legislation was intending to do, which was to protect the random slaughtering and therefore origin of animals that were going to be slaughtered so that they can be traced to know who in fact the animals belong to and who had the right to slaughter the animals. Now, I'm just raising that as something that might merit some reflection, because in the package of approaches that we're talking about for predial larceny, this may very well be something that needs some
True.
examination as to see whether it has any possibilities or not, assuming that it is no longer existing as part of the body of legislation, agricultural related legislation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You got me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Right, good. So perhaps it may be something that it is worth examining to see what is the situation regarding that legislation. It is still on the books here in St. Lucia, by the way. That's one thing I wanted to flag, right? So you could, that is something that perhaps you can examine. The second thing I wanted to raise, now you may recall, I think it was last Thursday, that I had called and mentioned the outcomes of the election in South Africa
Yes. Mhm.
and the fact that the ANC, after 30 years, found itself, as the English put it, in a spot of bother, you know, in terms of their being able to maintain the government. Now, the same thing has just happened in India, and that even though the Modi BJP party
The collision.
still got right, look at the results, look at the outcome in terms of the loss of support and the loss of seats. I was reading an article in an international newspaper about that, and there's a very interesting comment that was made with regards to the outcome of the Indian election, and it could also apply to the ANC in South Africa. And it says as follows, or it could be that his carefully cultivated brand, that is Modi, his carefully cultivated brand has now peaked and he could no longer outrun. And this is what I want people to pay attention to. He could no longer outrun the anti incumbency sentiment that eventually catches up with almost any politician, quote unquote. You realize what I'm talking about, of course.
Sure, sure.
There in St. Vincent, we in St. Vincent must recognize that after a while, enough is enough. And that those who are incumbents for far too long are no longer able to deliver what it is that had initially brought them into our office or that you thought would bring them into power. They can no longer do it. And therefore, it is a natural thing that there is an anti-incumbency sentiment. All that is saying, that's those fancy words, are saying people get fed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's really saying. And so our people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines must ask ourselves, what happened to us? Can't we be fed up too? And therefore, we must seriously contemplate the urgency of change that must take place in St. Vincent as in the next upcoming elections. The final thing I want to comment on, make reference to, is that this matter that you were just raising about the change and the delivery of housing and material and repairs and so on. Now, I want people who could recall to think back to when it was the referendum. It was 2009, the referendum.
I can't remember. But I know
when the people voted against going along with the proposals made by the Gonzales ULP in terms of the constitutional changes. I recall listening to Gonzales commenting on the reasons for the loss of support with regards to the people going along with the ULP. And he said something along the following lines, that he had not treated the referendum as though it was an election. And consequently, right, he failed to do what he recognized needs to be done and people have come to expect in an election, which is to provide them with things.
Exactly.
And that this will never happen to him again in any subsequent polling in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where he is not delivering, right, before that polling, things to the people in the country. Make sense out of that. Because we have seen that since that referendum, every subsequent election, we have seen what has transpired with a massive amount of trucks and material leaving the public goods compound at Annisfield and going all over and distributing stuff and giving it in the couple of weeks before election. It is nauseating. It was really, really almost caused you to vomit when you see what the government was doing. But it was Gonzales fulfilling his comment and observation that will never happen to him again. And so what we might very well be looking at here now is a slightly different way of achieving the same outcome by using the results, the consequences of the eruption as the circumstances in which he will now do what he had been doing before. And you're quite right. I suspect that it is for that reason that the incumbent Minister of Housing might find himself short of ministerial responsibility because they can't depend on him and they can't trust him. Now, if I was that Minister of Housing, I would look at myself in a mirror and I would ask certain hard questions of myself. Enough said. All right? Okay, I just wanted to make those observations.
And quite rightly, good observation. And even leading up to the last one, I don't know how these guys allow themselves to be embarrassed. So I don't know.
It depends on what you like when you look in a mirror. Remember Michael Jackson's how it go? The
Man in the mirror. I can't sing, so I won't even try that. That's not one of my.
So, it depends sometimes on what these folks see when they look in a mirror. Anyway, I go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Right. Okay, it's a minute after the 12 o'clock hour. We due for the break. So we're going to take that break and come right back with the New Times program for today, Wednesday, the 5th of June. Wednesday, the 5th of June. Don't forget this evening, Vinci Heat supposed to be playing, not supposed to, playing in Suriname about 5:30. Still, I'm trying to see if we could get some sort of commentary for you from Nice Radio perspective. So we'll keep you posted. Those who we promise and don't deliver, we're trying to see, all right? Because a lot of persons depend on Nice Radio for a lot of things, including Calypso, but that's another story. So we'll take the break and come right back.
Bonadies Supermarket in Kingstown, serving the nation with quality service and excellent prices. At Bonadies Supermarket number 2, located at Upper Middle Street, we are proud to serve you. We are second to none. Call us at 457-1616. We at Bonadies Supermarket number 2 will always be here for you. Bonadies Supermarket, serving the nation with quality service and excellent prices.
General Hardware still has the best prices on steel, lumber, and plywood. So go on, compare prices. And if by chance you find a better price, no stress. Just talk to the General, and they will beat that price plus give you special priority delivery. Yes, General Hardware offers free island-wide delivery on most purchases, so you never have to worry about getting your goods on site on time. Plus, shopping at General Hardware is a pleasant experience with friendly, knowledgeable staff always ready to serve. What more could you wish for, huh? So come to General Hardware for proper service, lowest prices, free delivery, and see why nobody beats the General. Nobody.
44 million fans, 11 players, 1 flow. Bleeding we colors, celebrating we greatness. With every 6, every wicket, every moment of glory, we show the world what we made of. Wherever it's played, Flow is proud to be a part of it. Join We Bacchanal. Feel We Energy. This is We Game. Visit discoverflow.co. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
There are many cleaning companies, but there is only one company that cleans, and that is Vinci Clean. So you don't have to wait for a season. Cleanliness is enough of a reason. Just finish building your dream home and wish to move in? Then Vinci Clean is for you. Do you have oil mark where that car is parked? New tiles just laid and want to remove tile grout, cement or paint? Vinci Clean is for you. Shampooing of chair sets, mattress, carpet, house cleaning. Vinci Clean is for you. So whatever cleaning you need and for the best prices and quality on the market, telephone 431-1360, 457-1649. Vinci Clean, Vinci Clean, Vinci Clean, the best in service.
Get dinner and candles alight, popcorn for your movie night. One stop and get it right. It's that good. We've got what you're looking for. All the brands you love and more. Get everything at Massey Stores. Massey Stores is where you wanna be. We take care of you like family. We do all that we could to treat you like we should. It's that good. It's that good. That good. When you shop at Massey Stores. That good.
Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
Air filters, oil filters, fuel filters, disc pads and brake shoes, clutch disc, pressure plates, rotor plates, engine parts, fan belts, timing belts, oil seals, spark plugs, radiators, radiator hoses, water pumps, universal joints, suspension parts, KYB Japanese shocks for Toyota, Nissan and Suzuki, tie rods, rack ends, ball joints. You can also get accessories, cleaning supplies, polishes, titanium tint, black tint, Valvoline motor oils, Toyota and Honda motor oils, transmission fluids, Michelin wiper blades, headlights, corner lights, HID kits, HID bulbs and ballast, LED bulbs, and much, much more. Can be had at Automax Auto Parts. Automax goes the extra mile and spend the extra dollar to ensure that you get first quality Japanese auto parts. Come see the difference at our showroom opposite the basketball court in Camden Park. Call us at 458-2000 or 529-2070. Visit us on Facebook, Automax Auto Parts. Drive the extra mile to get the best first quality auto parts.
Please note that we open on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
CK Grace and Company is the number one supermarket, 100% concession. The Intention Supermarket. We've got more of what you're looking for in multiple locations to serve you more and more. In business now for over 50 years, and you will always save by shopping right here. Oh yes, we're number one. CK Grace and Company, and we are Vincent John, a supermarket for you and me.
I passed by a brethren the other day. If you see he plays rat and cockroach racing, mosquito fighting one another for come knee in your ears, and the amount of woodlights I see, I had to wonder if them been in the wood with no attack and build the ark. I said, bye, call Flick.
For the eradication of pests, Flick is your answer. Before and after construction of your domestic and commercial buildings, Flick uses environmentally safe chemicals and keep washrooms fresh with the Aroma Odor Control and the FemCare Sanitary Disposal Systems. Call Flick Pest Control today at 457-1857 or click www.flickpestcontrol.com.
Memorial Funeral Home is the first in SVG to offer on-site cremation service. The new and modern crematorium provides a safe way to memorialize your loved ones. Memorial Funeral Home offers a variety of urns in which you can preserve your loved one in a personal way. Cremation can ease the financial burden as it reduces the cost of a standard funeral service by 50%. Caskets can also be rented. Cremation is a necessary option to the overcrowded burial grounds across the country. Their friendly and courteous staff will continue to take care of all your funeral needs, whether you choose to bury or cremate. If your loved ones die abroad, there's no need to worry. Memorial Funeral Home can assist in the transportation of bodies to SVG and from SVG to any part of the world. Memorial Funeral Home services can be accessed at their two locations. In Kingstown, in the Russells Building at telephone number 453-2697, and in Mesopotamia at 458-8888. The Memorial Funeral Home, leading the way in modern and affordable services. Call us. We care.
Randy's Supermarket is perfect for all your grocery needs. We have a range of liquor, liqueur, and wines, fresh and quality bread, and our weekly specials will simply amaze you. Conveniently opened 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays, and Fridays and Saturdays 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. We have competitive prices and friendly staff. Randy's Supermarket, located at Lower Bay Street and Terrell Street. Call us at 456-2994. Randy's Supermarket, where shopping is fun.
The kingdom must come down. The kingdom must come down.
Oh my, afraid this society, Lord knows, afraid it real bad. It's a wonder to me how more people ain't done gone mad. You know you can't even speak the truth, cause they will treat you like a brute. If you only say government neglecting the youth. Hospital is in a bad state. The whole damn place is in a mess. And if you go down there, it might be your final rest. And if you try to criticize, you will be victimized. And they will put red pressure on you. They will squeeze you until you turn black and blue. And if you stand up for what is right, they will try hard to out your life. But listen to me. Don't back down. Stand your ground. Cause one day the kingdom bound to come down. The kingdom must come down. Hey. All right. The fire civil servants, police and teachers, they treat them mean. Cause the people decide they ain't taking them damn vaccine. Those who are living high and mighty don't give a damn about nobody. Want to living good, they don't care about you or me. And if you question the politics and all them bad rules they wouldn't fix, they will try to intimidate you and threaten you with licks. And if you say unemployment high and pressure make it poor people die, but they will put more pressure on you. They will squeeze you until you turn black and blue. And if you try to stand up and do what's right, they will try hard to out your life. But damn it, don't back down, stand your ground. Cause one day the kingdom bound to come down. Kingdom must come down. Yeah. Come down, baby. Some of them living high on the horn, living like kings, living like emperors. Well, we can't even make ends meet.
30 minutes after 12 o'clock.
You know, 10-year-old in maternity say that she going to have a baby.
All right, so is it that last line there by Patches? I want to come back to that issue in a minute. It's 40 minutes after the 12 o'clock. How are you listening to the Newtimes program for Wednesday, the 5th of June? I'm your host today, Clement Bud Francis. Thanks for joining me on the program. Let me make an apology for the absence so far, maybe for the entire program, but so far for Major Honorable Sinclair Leacock and Brother Andrew John. They are both in some very important discussions, meetings, so they may not be here. I know they won't both will try to be here, but I suspect the nature of those meetings, I don't see them being here, but we could keep our fingers crossed. In the meantime, we continue the open line. We continue to read your text. Let me just give you those info for those who may not be accustomed to it. For example, the WhatsApp number is 7844983802. That's 7844983802. The Magic Jack, 718-734-5615. And the normal number that people call, 784-456-5967. 65967. So let me just give you these WhatsApp before I make for a comment. Let's see what they say. Good boat, can you ask the government if a boatload of black tanks was sent to St. Lucia? And why the Vincentians whom they were sent for cannot get any? Yeah, I heard that too. I heard they ship them off to St. Lucia. I heard that. I don't know why. I don't have to sell them. Remember, I said this government is a crackhead government, you know. I like Mikey idea. What a government for a billboard. You know? So, we'll be back in a minute.
And if you want a better nation, you must tackle corruption. Don't back down. Stand your ground, because one day.
This blessed country has seen its best days. Just look at it now, it's torn to pieces. How did we get to this point? Ain't no mystery. We wasted a lot of years simply mashing up the country. Now can we put the pieces together that will redeem this land? I say yes, we can, my brother, but not until we understand. We got a country to build, and if we don't do it, who will? We gotta come up with some kind of plan to salvage what's left of our nation. So we ain't got no time to chill, 'cause we got a country to build.
Sorry about that, just getting some info there. All right, so as you say, it's 17 minutes after the 12 o'clock hour, and I give you those contacts so that you could get in us. I think somebody said the billboard. Let me see. But what is the situation in the national census? What is the hold up? Is it completed as yet? Are the results going to remain for certain? Eyes only, or is there going to be another electrical fire that consume the finance? Well, I think they're between a rock and a hard place, because they need to get the census out because they want to do some, is gerrymandering, let's call it, some playing with the figures. So I don't know what they can do. I don't know what they can do. But I want to touch on another point that Juma raised and that person's been raising all the time, and I want to label it greed. I was tempted to say lickoriousness, but people gonna say man, I radio word lickoriousness. Well, let me say greed. You know, a lot of persons. And wait. Hold on. I think I need to get it right, sir.
The leaders here, they don't have a clue. They have no idea what they should do. That's why we can't rely on them to make things better. 'Cause every time we do, they only make we suffer.
All right, I think I have to go this one to make my point. So let's go. A lot of the supporters are disappointed and continue to be disappointed because if it's one thing about this government, and I call it a cartel organization, and if you look, at a lot of the ideologies similar to ours. For example, if you go Venezuela, with all due respect, the leaders, they're not starving, they're not scrunting, as we just say, for food or running up and down, things good with them. And a lot of these countries where we are friends with, let me put it that way. I'm not saying that we must not be friends with all and every country in the world, as the case may be, in terms of your diplomatic relations. But a lot of these countries that have the ideology, not the friendship, we friends with them because of ideology. All right? We tend to be around the same thing with the leadership doing well, but
Nothing to show after 5 in a row.
the people not seeing well, not doing well. The ordinary man, the man about tongue, so to speak, the farmers, the teachers, the police, they're not doing well. They're not doing well. The average civil servant, not doing well. The middle class has totally disappeared. But the greed in this nation that goes right back to accountability. It's sickening. It's sickening. One set of people monopolize and control everything. You see that port down there? We need, as Jomo say, auditor the port. Because school children say, and you see school children, they go in school and they're educated, they like to talk. Say that man who never owned truck, suddenly buy truck. Big man who getting big salary and enough money and eating out of the chaff already, them invest in trucking. So the trucking work for the port coming to some of them. So they say. So they say. School children can't go court and stand up, but they say so. So we have that kind of corruption sinking through. It have people who never have, we call them thing there again, welding. But because they see welding in certain areas in St. Vincent Grenadines, them form welding company and they monopolize the welding work coming from a certain source. People monopolize supply of blocks to the government from a certain source. So we have this small cabal of persons in the cartel who own everything. Every cleaning job. You can't say every cleaning job because they go sue you. School people say almost every cleaning job goes to the trade unions. Trade unions? What trade unions getting cleaning job? I don't believe that. Must be trade union related. All the cleaning jobs. Include anyone down on this vela here. One set of people eating. One set of people cleaning airport. One set of people cleaning government buildings. One set of people cleaning Honest Vale. One set of people. One set of people. Let me take this call. Let me take this call. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yeah, sorry for calling back, but seeing that the major is not coming, and Andrew, I'll take this opportunity to tell the Vincentian people, those that might have a Facebook and they could go into YouTube, and those who can help others. I want them to look at the difference in leadership. And I was following this company, Burkina Faso, from way back, since they had the leadership of Brother Thomas Sankara. And the new leader, Abraham Torre, he gets some problem from the elites in his government, but they come to recognize it because the people in Burkina Faso see the difference in his leadership. They want him to put the country in debt and take the resources and go out there and buy luxury cars for them. He said, no, it would be unfair for him to put his country in debt and borrowing loans to go and buy Mercedes Benz and BMW. For the leadership of the country, he went and he bought tractors for the people to do farming, to make farming much easier for them so that they could plant their own food. And when the people hear that he's going to give up.
I think, in fact, when he came in, he met all the government, big shots and so, owning luxury vehicles, and the government had more luxury vehicles than a vehicle plant. And he said, no, this car work. He sell off a lot of them. That was unnecessary. Put the money back into the people. And in fact, they took away a lot of the government expensive vehicles from persons.
But
he wasn't kindly he wasn't kindly received.
But the people receive him when they see the difference that he's making in their life. But I think that's brother is a good brother that you could draw contrast in leadership to the Vincentian people. And Vincentian people, those of you who might not have a YouTube account, please, those who have it, teach our younger ones. Teach those who know. Show them how that brother, when the people realize that he's going to leave and they recognize when the man take the gold that was going to France, he said, no, leave the gold. Let's do what we have to do with our resources in our country and make sure our people get jobs. They stand up and back off any kind of changes that they want to make. I was always calling for this. I used to call them way back. I was writing when you see I'm not on Facebook talking about St. Vincent. I'm into African affairs. I was talking about the rise of the Thomas Sankara generation. And it's here today, Vincentian. I want a rise of the Vincentian people that should get a government to work in your best interest. And the only government I can see on the horizon is the NDP, from Mr. Eustace all the way down. Get a government that could use the resources to empower you. Have a good day, my brother. And sorry for calling back.
That's okay. Thanks a lot. All right. So I was planning, let me put it this way, to tell you about, you see, I talk about, let me use my words so you don't take my words and twist it back. When people use the authority, So I was planning, I was planning to tell you about the greedy people. But I'd leave that for tomorrow, because I also said to you that if I know this man, I haven't introduced him yet, so I could say man without getting the disrespect. If I know this man, he can make all effort to be here today as usual. So let me start over and say, we have now been joined by Major the Honorable Sinclair Leacock, Parliamentary Representative for Central Kingston and one of the Vice Presidents for the New Democratic Party. And I could say, I had a suspicion, meetings or no meetings, the Major will be here. So we're going to welcome the Major, say, this afternoon. Good afternoon, Major. Not often I said good afternoon to you unless you're calling in. But
that is true. Good afternoon, but good afternoon.
We're kind of glad to have you in,
That's all right.
It's okay.
It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing,
Okay.
Yeah, I was with the leader of the party, Dr. Friday, and my colleagues, the parliamentary caucus of the party. We were in session this morning with the visiting CARICOM delegation that are here discussing the Caribbean single market and economy, and to share with us the experiences of the developments and to hear from us our ideas and concerns with respect to advancing this very noble idea of a single market and economy, which is supposed to be able to facilitate free trade and agreement, but more particularly free movement of goods and services throughout the CARICOM region. And we have made fairly good progress thus far with goods, although we still have some stumbling blocks, and from time to time some matters appeal in the courts within the region. But we still have a lot to go with respect to the movement of our people. Without going into that subject in great detail, a number of important issues were raised. We took the opportunity to raise again the plight of our traffickers, as we call them, who go to Trinidad, Tobago, and sell our agricultural produce and still experience problems in being paid and getting their money converted back into EC. And we had a solution at one time to the central banks of Trinidad and Tobago and the central bank of the OECS, but that has fallen down. And I think the intervention of one of the banks, Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I don't know if Republic Bank got into that. But it's still an outstanding issue, and we are told that St. Lucia has also reported to them on the same complaint. So we seized the opportunity again to represent our traffickers, to find a solution to be able to sell the goods, get the money, come back home and do what they want to do with the money, with all the hassles that they're now going through. And we just use also a very simple example. We talk about free movement. As I said, a person could leave where they are and go down to the ferry boat with the suitcase or the knapsack or whatever you call it. And if they didn't get the 8:30 vote, they say, well, I'll get 1:30 and get 2:30, 3, 4, 5, 6. But before they did that, there will be some part of the Grenadines until they reach the final part of the Grenadines that they want to reach. Sure. I just use that as an example. But I don't know of any Vincent who could leave and go down to the port, Kingstown, and say, well, I want to reach Barbados, I want to reach St. Lucia. I want to reach Grenada, and he missed this boat, he missed the next boat, he missed the other boat. He may well be there till next year waiting for a boat that can take him to one of those destinations. And it's worse if we think in terms of going to the airport and say, I want to go to Dominica. He won't even see anything come up on the morning to say that the flight is arriving, the flight is leaving. So while we're talking about the freedom of movement of our people, there's not sufficient being done on the ground at the highest levels of the policymakers to make sure that we have travel arrangements in place that people can go and get, whether it's by sea or by air, from one destination to the other. In fact, in some cases, it's as ridiculous as the fact that if you want to go to BVI, for example, in Tortola, I know Bruce has this many times.
Go Miami.
You have to go to Miami, and you travel a lot with football as an ambassador and a trainer of trainers. And you know how often it is to get from one Caribbean destination to the other. So we have made very much progress there. And the other related question, I'm not going to take the program off into that direction.
No, it's okay.
But that's another related questions, trade issues, and so on and so forth. And Dr. Friday gave a good summary conclusion of where we in the Democratic Party think we are at the moment and what needs to be done. And one of the consultants here with the CARICOM team said, well, maybe we were stealing from their notes because his summary conclusion was consistent with their own conclusions, you know. I think they were leaving us to go and meet with the government or the cabinet. So that might well be in session now. And they will take back to the cabinet some of what our concerns and other people's concerns. Well, you naturally know by the time they say that Friday, say.
The vex?
No, he didn't vex. He probably asked him, you listen to that jackass? Because remember, in the eyes of the Prime Minister, the New Democratic Party, we are jackasses. And you can't let them off of those who kill. That's the contempt he has for us. So that's about, let's get onto your agenda. And maybe otherwise I just feel a question. Was Andrew here?
No,
because he has a meeting down at the office as well. Because I met his chairperson down there because you know they have a very big meeting in for Eastern George and South Winwood this Saturday night. And
that's what he told me that.
And it hasn't had a lot of promotion and a lot of logistics that they put in place. So he's probably meeting with the Secretary General Smith and Dr. Friday.
In fact, this morning he spoke. He was on his way here, and then he said no. Called me back, say you have to go because there's some logistics and so.
So I thought he was holding 40 while I was doing something else.
So, but you have I guess even if you don't have all the details, you give us a thumb up, because.
But then the meeting is going to be subject to question. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Not the Brighton.
The
Brighton, and Eastern George. So I think that might be the gap they were turning into
Diamond.
Yes, that's Diamond. Sorry, where we have held a meeting there before, where they broke down
the bus shed.
The bus shed. I think it could be that gap.
Okay.
I know some of the speakers. Certainly, he will be one of the speakers on Saturday night because he's.
Well, Velux will also be.
Velux will be there. The public relations officer I know there. She will be there as a speaker. I think my colleague Daniel Cummins more than likely will be a spokesperson, a speaker as well. Dr. Friday, obviously, probably Fitzbram might be a speaker there. And he may have one or two other local speakers representing youth and women and so on and so forth.
Okay,
so it should be a good meeting as we set size and targets on those two constituencies.
Okay, so we can get up that.
So you get more information.
Keep that in mind. Saturday, the location will be confirmed, but the meeting itself there will be a meeting. All right, Eastern George and South Winwood combined.
Yeah, and it isn't also too much to say that I don't know if we'll get it before the end of the week, but I certainly within another week, not long from now, look for a couple more billboards.
Oh boy, no, I ain't gonna repeat that. People must be dropping on there now, so people don't pick up the phone and don't start calling.
Well,
so we don't want
look for him cussing again.
So we should have some other billboards, but Kev, don't spread the message one time because the hospital can't. The hospital can't hold that amount of casualties when persons start to get heart attack. So just spread it over a longer period of time, guys. So okay, yeah, we're basically chatting. We did some work on Jomo article and the accountability, and I made the point that you have on many occasions and over the years pointed out that the accountability, and in particular the Petro-Caribbean, I've heard you in Parliament, I've heard you on the political stage, I've heard you in the studio on many occasions, and I was glad that Joe would take up the issue. It got some legs in terms of the accountability, the misbehavior in office, the misuse
and
of
conforming that
funds.
corruption is an
Yes.
issue. And that's important because corruption is an issue in which they got into office. And now the tables are turned. And I'm clear in my own mind, but the greatest challenge with the change of regime, which will come because I heard a caller saying that after a while, incumbents, you could do so much and so much, but people do get tired of you. I think the greatest fear that they have about losing office is the possibility that a new Democratic Party government will come into office and will have the opportunity to audit them, to search the books, to see how school keeping, as it were. I think that that gives them a lot of sleepless nights, and therefore you're going to find that they'll be throwing kitchen and sink in the next general election. Free houses, free food, free accommodation, free everything to stay in office, so that we never ever know, as easy would have put it, where all the money gone. But come what may, we're resolute that we would form government.
And there's a lot of things I prefer to expand on, like when I'm alone, so nobody can say. But I started to speak on the issue of the greed, and I'm sure everybody's familiar with that the people who have. They're not even allowing sometimes their own supporters to get a share. They're grabbling everything.
So-called small man.
Yeah, they're grabbling everything.
Everything. Every contract, bar contract, food contract, contract. Everything goes back to the party. Or operatives of the party.
Exactly.
And that is something I never lose sight of, Sometimes when we think that it's the guys who are in cabinet, the guys who are in our government, the ministers of government, as we call them, is the operatives of the government who something have to watch, the spokesperson, the propagandists, the holders on, those who find favor with the regime. Those are the guys who are going a great length to anticipate at times what the comrade would want them to do and do it before he asks them to do it. You have that inside the caucus itself, but you have it worse outside, So Dr. Friday and the rest of us have our work cut out. We have our work cut out. But we'll do it.
We'll do it. For example, I know I could say without even asking that you can't get a government contract to clean. Don't care how good don't care how good Vinci clean is. But we have people who leave trade union and go into cleaning, and they basically have a monopoly. Basically, a monopoly in cleaning.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
We have catering, we have transportation.
Same thing.
We ain't gonna go into details, but school children say
Sanders
open. People who have already invested in bus and so forth. I mean, come on.
That's how the cookie crumbles. Everything goes back to the plantation.
And I gave me a story there that he working for an entity in which every time the person in charge want a piece of everything, and he got a side job, and small money. But one of these people come and tell him, "Oh, I understand you get a side job." And he said, "Oh, I get a little side job. I work outside the hours, And the man said, "No, well, I want to cut." He said, "Man," and he said, "But I can't believe it. This man has millions, but he want to cut out of my little $1,000."
Super great.
You can't. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I had a nice thing I just do. That's trouble me. A friend of mine with it and say, "Boy, if it's pilau, you okay. But you have a bowl and a soup. When the soup reach up to the top of the bowl, don't care much you throw in. It can't hold it. Just have it. So it make no sense. You take it. I could say if it's rice and it press down, you could easy. But it's soup.
It's flowing over.
Get somebody else some, man. Get somebody else some. I just can't understand that level of greed.
Yeah, it exists.
the thing. I mean, as the years go by, a lot of things I still can't come to grip with. I've been in politics a while, but certain things that I see as good politics, I really don't understand how. You're going to make me fed up. Maybe constituency development fund. It's a win-win. I up to today, you can't convince me why a person in parliament will not support it. It's a win-win.
Because you're not the own man. I mean, you are a parliamentarian. And you can't find favor with or support the idea that you should be allocated a certain proportion of money to spend on your constituency on an annual basis to satisfy the priority that your constituency has determined for itself. And you voting against that, and you choose as an alternative to that, you decide you'll become like Nicodemus. You only visiting in the night and lying anywhere that I came but you wasn't there and I wanted this but that couldn't happen. Come on, man. It's time that you be a man.
You ain't gonna run back. Just to say, this is my last election.
Yeah.
So I ain't plan to run back. They put in somebody else in my place.
Yeah.
I want my constituency for none to lose. Yeah. I ain't running back so they can't spite me and they run me. And the situation is they can't let me go because the majority in there. I mean, how could you? So these things I just can't put together.
Talk about running back, but I believe you went through the registration for today.
Yeah, I did.
I think today might be.
And Mr. P. Carl and reinforced the fact that.
Right for us today?
Yeah.
Right for Central Kingston. I don't know if you will be there because he wasn't there for the last one or two because of circumstances.
But he did call in.
I'm glad he called in.
And
but I have been to the last few registration exercises, and I'm glad that I went and I'm increasing on that now. And I'm saying so by way of reminding my colleagues, and I spoke to it yesterday when we were in a meeting as well in the party. It's very important for my colleagues to go to registration exercise. Because you can't leave anything past these guys. Because I've seen it up close and personal, where even in Central Kingston, where we have a significant lead, that they're still trying things, that people are leaving wherever they come from, other than Central Kingston, and trying to get into register in Central Kingston. Now, that kind of mean that they're trying by hook or by crook to see how they could get rid of major out of Central Kingston. Or they are deciding to sacrifice. We call it, the word we use for that is cannibalization, when they're giving up something to get something else. You're giving up someplace else to try to move people in. So if they want to try that with something like Central Kingston, and you have to get turned back because you can't show that you were there for the last 6 months, you don't know nobody in the constituency, you don't know your neighbor, you don't have no light bill, phone bill, any records of any kind. You're just trying to get in there to vote against Major and the NDP Central Kingston. You know, if they do that, you know, if they get in 5 per registration, that's 10 a week. By 52 weeks a week, it's 500 people they force to get registered, you know. So one is in this full basket. You have to stop it. Because before you say Jack Robin, the name on the voters list. And when it's on the voters list, it is much harder to get them off. So it is important wherever you are, whatever constituency, and you have a little free time in the evening, take a stroll, take a walk, 2, 3 of you go and help your caretaker, your representative to mark up the registration. So that when certain people come to say they want to get registered, they could tell you your representative or whoever is there for your constituency, say, look, no. He ain't belong here. Stop it. It's our business to do that. All these little things are important politics.
Sure.
Very important politics. So this evening I'll go to the registration at Lago Heights, the band room.
Yeah, the band room.
To keep my eye out. And whereas 1 or 2 persons have got away so far, it's not our job. I can't take them. At least I'm not sure about that, but I'll consult with legal counsel. But I find you may well have to end up making an example out of somebody that they must understand that falsely registering in a constituency is a crime. And until somebody or bodies pay a penalty for it, you might be able to cut it out. So we might have to make the example out of somebody.
Let's see. Good afternoon, Newtimes.
Yes. Good is it afternoon? Yes, afternoon.
Yes, it's
I just
afternoon.
called.
But I'm not hearing in
I,
my headphone.
Still on, Major. Still
are you
on.
hearing me?
Wait. I'm trying to make sure that Major hearing you. No.
Oh.
The microphone. This loud. No, I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, mic. Yeah,
What?
mic thing.
The plug-in.
Yeah, go ahead, Namir.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
I got you now. Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes. Sorry, careful.
Yeah. So a long time I haven't called in here. So many things are happening, more than I can deal with. Anyhow, something I had in mind for a long time, because when you go to the hospital, and I have to go there pretty often every now and then, and what I want to get clarified, because going there yesterday and the amount of money I had to pay for different things and so on, I would have thought that my seniority would allow some sort of consideration for.
Not your seniority. Your senior citizenship.
Yeah, well, you're a politician. You
No,
know
that's
to do
not a
it better than
politician.
that.
Seniority could be interpreted differently. As a senior
I hear
citizen.
you.
Yeah, as a senior citizen.
I hear you.
Be
So,
clear with it.
next thing I am understanding that you have to go to the Ministry of Mobilization or something like that if you need to get any particular help. And then that can be from reports, that can be a runaround. I don't know. Maybe you see, this country is so small, and when certain people, especially if certain people are making their presence felt, it can either go against you or go for you and so on. But I just thought I'll suggest that whichever government, because at one time I thought it was like they had that preference, or they view certain reduction or whatever, if that's the right word I'm using, in terms of how, as a senior citizen, how much you can how much you can be charged, how much you can pay for whatever services and so on.
Well,
And then he said,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say this. I was going to say in the same breath. Some time ago, I was at the hospital for my, checkup as well, and I was there. When you go there, it's a long wait. I've had my experience since I became a diabetic going to the hospital. You have to wait for some long period sometimes. And some time ago, I was there past lunchtime, and as a diabetic, you have to have something to eat. Some people won't know this unless they have diabetes, and sometimes it's not easy. But I want to congratulate, there was a church that particular day, and a church, some Pentecostal from, I think it's up in the Green Hill area. Oh, sorry, I forget that name, but they were rather kind, I find.
The evangelical church.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're calling him in church.
Much too loud. It was much too loud.
Wait, I think was that one that was adjusted?
So
my phone is much too loud. Go ahead. I'll just take off your headphones.
Yeah. So they came down with they came they came down with some colorless soup, man. And I tell you, I mean, I had to compliment that church, and I think more institutions can do this.
As we say locally.
Yeah. I'm very particular in eating out or eating anything outside of my own confines these days. But I must commend that church because I was there and it was past my lunchtime, and I really thought, and they brought enough that every man get from staff on that particular day. And I'm saying that other institutions, now I find now that I have experienced that for myself, I think other institutions can do that. But it might take a church or some other organization, or if you have a millionaire, somebody who can reach it. Because all kind of people who go there, and I cannot. Some coming from the farthest point of this country have to come there, and I could understand the cost and all of that. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Now the election time is drawing. Well, from the time the ULP in office, they never stop. They never stop
Dave, just
campaigning.
give me a minute. Just give me a minute, a second. The person on the landline, just hold for another minute or so for me, please.
Oh.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yes, I was saying that they never stop campaigning, and I am just sending out a message. When you critically examine what has been going on in the country for the past 23 years, I don't think there's anything great as they want us to believe, or they want some of us to believe, to shout about, right? You're in government, there are certain things that I have a problem with. In government, there are basic things you have to do. And what hurts me is when politicians make use of our people. And I am just appealing to those of us to look back over the last 23 years and let me hear what is there for us to shout about. Right? This morning I was at another radio station making a point that since this ULP regime came into office, power, whatever, they were talking about catering. Something came up with catering. Somebody must write something. Is the most caterers I know about? Most caterers. I am not trying to stop anybody from making a livelihood, but I don't know the real issue. But I know there are a lot of caterers from the government, for the government and so on, who the government allowed to do the catering and so on. And in closing, I was happy to meet Mr. P of your constituency. While I was there, he spotted me. I didn't know him. Big up to you. I came and he had some kind words to say to me. And I wish him well because I know him from time to time. I know he's one of your right-hand man.
Very important radio contributors and people who speak precisely with clarity and without fear of contradiction.
Yeah.
And so I think you all have something in common.
Right. So I told him I listen from time to time and wish him well and so on.
Yeah, all right.
So that's just my piece. I hope I didn't interrupt any
Thanks, Dave. Thanks.
Much appreciated.
All right. Let me see if this
call is still there.
Call on the long line. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for holding.
I caller just wait till I come in the radio station to make his call. Good afternoon, caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Licker.
Good afternoon, caller.
Okay.
Can I call you by your name?
No, sir. Yeah. Okay. I always argue that politics at the end of the day is a battle for the hearts and minds of the people.
That's correct.
And for that reason, parties must be very careful what they say, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm saying this, right? Sometime after the volcanic eruption, I prepared an estimate and handed to Sabuto Caesar for my roof repair. Mm-hmm. Attached to that estimate, I argue that even though my roof was in terrible condition, the volcanic eruption, the dust and all of that, accelerated the further deterioration of my roof. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I think the government should help me. Okay, so I was listening to Board Fans this morning.
And you would be among others.
Right?
You would be among others in your community.
Yes, okay, because I could never understand that somehow we had this smart volcano that know that it's supposed to stop and it's destructive thing at the Prime Minister's constituency. And Mongranan, which is Bungary, his constituency, was not receiving the same help as Parkhill, which Mongranan and Parkhill is Bungary. Mongranan and Connery is Bungary. Mm. But I always say farmers there's a lot of farmers who had serious problems from the loss of rain. But I bring up this to say, right? We NDP and we have to be very careful because if 2,000 people,
Who you said we NDP?
yeah, if like, please let me make this point, right? If 2,000 people receive help, we don't want a situation to be created where after they got help, they feel, well, but if it was left up to NDP, that we would not have gotten help. So we have to be very, very careful. And I say that based on what was said this morning on the program. Likewise,
I didn't hear
what
what
we
was
say
said.
about
I
what
didn't
we
hear
say
what
about
said.
what we say about Sanders, we have to remember that it's real people, children, and it's real Vincentian working at Sanders. So we have to be very careful what we say because
What was said about Sanders?
no, I don't want to repeat some of the
No,
things
and
now, but I'm
this
just
morning,
saying
wait,
that
no,
we
hold
have,
on, no. I
this
think in all due respect, something was said about Sanders on this program this morning.
no, not this morning,
Right, so we
not
have
this
to
morning,
clarify
yeah.
that. That's
Yeah,
one.
right,
And
yeah.
two, just for clarification again, the issue with the 2000, we're reading a Juma article, not so?
Yes. So at this
And
point,
you will come on board and say honestly that if the exports went out and this is 600 and 1400, that question should be raised as to how the Prime Minister reached 2000. That is fair, not so?
yes, that is,
Okay, all right.
but I'm
So
saying
go
that
ahead. No, I get you. Just wanted to get that
yeah,
in
but
there.
the point I'm making is that even though we have a particular position on certain things, we have to ask ourselves, how would people respond to if we let this out? How would people respond? Okay, take me for example. I honestly don't believe I would get the help. I don't believe I would get the help. But there are other people like me who think that they deserve help, whether in Mount Grenada or some other place, who think that somehow that they were affected, maybe a farmer were affected. So I'm expecting, like, and Bruce, for example, should have been on my corner representing me, helping me build the
And he
argument
probably is,
that,
and you don't know.
well, I don't know. So I only call to say that we have to be very careful because people could interpret things a particular way. Because even though I
I
heard,
think I hear where you're going, and I have to say that I agree with you.
yeah, okay, all right. So
We have to be sensitive and smart in what we say,
yeah,
and that we don't alienate people who are either supporting us or are independent minded or who can
yeah,
come along to
exactly. That is
support us
the point I'm
by
making, and it
making them
doesn't have
feel
to be
that you are
sometimes it
denying
could
them
be
of
the
something that to which they are
Yes,
entitled.
because we don't want them get the house repaired.
That's fair comment.
Yeah, okay. So one last thing. Yes, well, I listened to a caller talk about the cattle and stamping the cattle and getting somebody when they're going to do the butchering to maybe an officer.
Certify.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But the thing is, I've heard similar arguments before. But the point is, when you have a thief who's willing to sell to a butcher
Who's
who knows
dishonest
he's
too.
a thief and is willing to bypass all the formalities.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that?
I think
A butcher who is willing to sell to Grenadians who is going to come and show someplace, and we still have to prove because
I think
you know making the same mistake. You just caution us about the frustration. You don't want to, and that's not your intention. I know that to implicate that a Grenadian will want to come here and act falsely. So
no, but you know that is going
yeah,
around.
but
That some of the
I
things
think
that are
just for
stolen
clarity
here.
again, just for clarity, the caller
Yeah.
was saying there's a legislation that was should the Windward Islands or OECS, but at least I think should the Windward Islands. So that if I'm selling meat and a police officer or something come to me, I should have a certificate signed by a justice of peace to say I bought the meat from Likak, who was a legitimate farmer. I think we know these logistics can be, but I think that was basically what you're saying, that you have proof that the meat you bought was not stolen.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I don't have a problem with that.
The textbook arrangement, but reality is things that because people always try to bypass and go underground from all illegal.
Well, you always have to try to be one step ahead of them.
Yeah, well, that is what I'm saying is that we need to, because I've heard that people, all this broken house and so rumors are going around that people are actually taking these things out of the country by boat. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the same thing is happening with the animals, but I'm just saying that we should be, like you said, one step, more steps ahead of them.
Agreed.
All right?
Agreed.
Okay, then. Thanks for that.
Thanks for your contribution, yes.
Thanks. Yeah, and just for clarity, I get what the caller is saying. Because that is also a strategy that is used by the Prime Minister. Okay, so you don't want me to get this, you don't want me to get that.
He does it all.
Yeah,
He does it all the time.
Yeah, so I think
Play us out.
that is online what they
Yeah, so we have to be
call
careful
that.
how we express.
So I think we
what
clear.
is
It's
right.
not that the New Democratic Party is saying people. There are people who deservingly, and Shava and Jana said that many times, there are persons in North Winner who didn't get any help. So there are people out there who need help.
Yeah.
Where the money came for help before and went elsewhere, there are persons who still in need of help.
But you see, but in the end, but
And legitimate help.
In the end, it's going to amount to the fact that we know who we're dealing with.
Exactly.
You know, the rain only have to make up. Rain only have to make up its face for man to tell us how much banana fall down, how much roof blow off, and how much thing will do. So you know what you're dealing with. And these are truisms. You're not getting that an individual personally. But every single thing, that's one of your expressions. Every single thing that happens in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, one man has to have a say in everything. Whether it's the sun, whether it's the rain, whether it's the snow, whether it's the wind, whether it's the air, he has to have a say. And the government are going to make maximum use of government funds to secure a political victory before they even reach around to touch their monies. And some people are of the view, justifiable or not, true or not, that the opposition, that the government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as the opposition says, oftentimes too, has more money than the government. The Unity Labour Party, that is, have more money than the government. So we know that they're building up a war chest to beat the government, to beat the New Democratic Party at the polls by a lot of favors, material handouts, whether the traditional cement lumber galvanized. Now they're giving away everything else. They've done it, and they've done it all before. They give it down to pigs and all. They even give out promotion in the police force.
Yeah, but and bringing but the NDP votes have continued to increase regardless.
Regardless, so we have to do what we know how to do best. Get out there in evenings, get out there in mornings, get out there in the day, knock on doors, have a personal relationship with, as the caller called before, explain the issues, present our policies over and over again and reinforce them. And as the caller said, win the hearts and souls of the people. And I'm satisfied that Dr. Friday and the NDP team, we are doing that and we are winning that. Some of us need to improve quite a bit on what we're doing. But there isn't a day in which they're not encouraged by those who are doing enough to so do. And I'm telling you, you can never do enough in politics. You can never do enough.
And I think the point that was raised earlier is that it's inevitable that they will be changed. Change is a must.
Because
and the signs are there.
And we in the New Democratic Party must be afraid to ask you to. We are the majority party in the sense that we are the party that the majority of Vincentians want to be in government, as proven by the polls in the last election. And those who are favoring the New Democratic Party have grown. But there is a constitutional measure that says it is he who wins the most constituencies. And so we must focus on winning those constituencies.
Okay, thanks. We're going to take the break and come right back. Take the break and come right back.
General Hardware still has the best prices on steel, lumber, and plywood. So go on, compare prices. And if by chance you find a better price, no stress. Just talk to the General, and they will beat that price plus give you special priority delivery. Yes, General Hardware offers free island-wide delivery on most purchases, so you never have to worry about getting your goods on site on time. Plus, shopping at General Hardware is a pleasant experience with friendly, knowledgeable staff always ready to serve. What more could you wish for, huh? So come to General Hardware for proper service, lowest prices, free delivery, and see why nobody beats the General. Nobody.
Get dinner and candles alight, popcorn for your movie night. One stop and get it right. It's that good. We've got what you're looking for. All the brands you love and more. Get everything at Massy Stores. Massy Stores is where you wanna be. We take care of you like family. We do all that we could to treat you like we should. It's that good. It's that you shop at Massy Stores. That good.
Massy Stores, our family serving your family.
44 million fans, 11 players, 1 flow. Bleeding we colors, celebrating we greatness. With every 6, every wicket, every moment of glory, we show the world what we made of. Wherever it's played, Flow is proud to be a part of it. Join We Bacchanal. Feel We Energy. This is We Game. Visit discoverflow.co. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
Lewis Pharmacy. We specialize in friendly service with a personal, professional touch. Hence, we take pride in offering patient counseling on all prescription and over-the-counter products. We welcome inquiries on prescription drugs, vitamins, herbal preparation, fitness nutritional products, cough, cold, allergy, and all other health care products. For the convenience of our patients and surrounding community, we are situated uptown opposite the bus stop at Juicy Building. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Lewis Pharmacy.
Randy's Supermarket is perfect for all your grocery needs. We have a range of liquor, liqueur, and wines, fresh and quality bread, and our weekly specials will simply amaze you. Conveniently opened 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays, and Fridays and Saturdays 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. We have competitive prices and friendly staff. Randy's Supermarket, located at Lower Bay Street and Terrell Street. Call us at 456-2994. Randy's Supermarket, where shopping is fun.
There are many cleaning companies, but there is only one company that cleans, and that is VincyClean. So you don't have to wait for a season. Cleanliness is enough of a reason. Just finish building your dream home and wish to move in? Then VincyClean is for you. Do you have oil mark where that car is parked? New tiles just laid and want to remove tile grout, cement, or paint? VincyClean is for you. Shampooing of chair sets, mattress, carpet, house cleaning. VincyClean is for you. So whatever cleaning you need and for the best prices and quality on the market, telephone 431-1360, 457-1649. VincyClean, 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 the best in service.
Introducing Kitty Care Plus Pico-Actin Syrup and Mimglobin Liquid from Maya Organics PVT Limited. Kitty Care Plus is an optimum nutrient for growing children. It promotes physical growth and enhances intellectual performance. Pico-Actin Syrup has a synergistic combination of cyproheptadine and B vitamins that help to improve appetite and body weight. And Mimglobin Liquid helps to optimize growth and builds immunity. Get yours today. Kitty Care Plus, Pico-Actin Syrup, and Mimglobin Liquid. Available at leading supermarkets and pharmacies. Agent Bowman's Pharmacy. Call 456-2235.
Get value for your money. Shop at Richardson Motors.
Shop at Richardson Motors Limited and enjoy 3 services in 1. Hop into our convenience store for a wide array of snacks, drinks, and toiletries. Visit our mechanic shop for a specialized treatment for your brakes, exhaust systems, and wheel alignment at our garage. But there's more. When you shop at Richardson Motors, get a free oil change service, clean, high-quality fuel, or shop from a wide range of automotive parts and accessories. We are conveniently located along the Arnesville Main Road. Drive on up.
Reliability, convenience, and variety.
Richardson Motors is your #1 stop.
CK Graves and Company is the number one supermarket, 100% intention. The Intention Supermarket. We've got more of what you're looking for in multiple locations to serve you more and more. In business now for over 50 years, and you will always save by shopping right here. Oh yes, we're #1. CK Graves and Company, and we are Vincent John, a supermarket for you and me.
Since 2012, we have provided reliable,
professional dialysis services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are now proud to offer you new solutions for your health problems. Each new solution is being delivered to you with the same high degree of care and professionalism. We also use the best technology in the delivery of our services. So, does your doctor need a precise view of what's happening inside your body? Let us perform an ultrasound for you. Ladies, if it's your breasts, then choose our mammography service. For all issues related to men and women's health at any stage in your life, our team can perform the necessary investigations to put your mind at ease and recommend solutions for your problems. If it's to see within your chest or check for broken bones and fractures, then use our state-of-the-art U-arm X-ray service. For you aging men and women, we can now check your bone density, which will reduce any complications that may arise with overall bone health, osteoporosis, or arthritis. Health Solutions will provide answers and results in a timely, accurate manner in the most comfortable environment, while you are taken care of by well-trained and experienced staff. Please call us today at 451-2836 or 434-3170, or visit us online at healthsolutionsSVG.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Health Solutions, where we are providing solutions in SVG with care.
We would like to say that Captain Bligh XO Aged Rum is the best rum in the world, and now we can. Voted the world's best rum at the World Rum Awards 2014, Captain Bligh XO Aged Rum. World class in a glass.
Bonady Supermarket in Kingstown, serving the nation with quality service and excellent prices. At Bonady Supermarket number 2, located at Upper Middle Street, we are proud to serve you. We are second to none. Call us at 457-1616. We at Bonady Supermarket number 2 will always be here for you. Bonady Supermarket, serving the nation with quality service and excellent prices.
More keep doing it. Ivan, waiting. If you can start, are you want start? Big one. Let me come in. Well, you can't get away from this one. It's the crime and the nation demand. You collect so much money from me. Man, you empty the whole treasury. All we want to know, where the money go, how you moving so. The book you must show. What we want, accountability. What we need, accountability. For AIA, accountability. Let your carry, accountability. We demand accountability.
All right, we demand accountability. 15 minutes after the 1 o'clock hour. You're listening to the Newtimes Program. Today being Wednesday, the 5th of June. Wednesday, the 5th of June. All right, so we have the lines open and we want to have that exchange with you. So we would appreciate it if you have that interaction. The numbers to call, the WhatsApp number, 784-498-3802. The Magic Jack, 718-734-5615. And the normal number that person use, 784-456-5967. So you can call us on those numbers and let's hear from you. Just a quick reminder that you get all the details, but on Saturday, there should be a meeting, combined meeting of West, where I get West from? South Windward and East St. George, all right? That's Sister Lavon Velox and Brother Andrew John. And most likely, it would be on the boundary there by Diamond. You know where they break down the bus shed? That's on that road is the boundary between the two constituencies. All right, so you can look forward to that usual starting time, 8 p.m. thereabout. But you get all the details. So don't make any date for Saturday night. Keep that in mind at function. And we haven't had one in East St. George and South Windward, so we're looking forward to that And we have to turn out in our numbers and show them that we're there. We're there also. I know Major does talk about coming down and collecting and who we going down. You're not going down without us. No, he can't drive through. He can't go over Mespo and come back to Johannesville. So you come in Calico, then go up Mespo and come back around. Yeah, okay, just making sure, you know, because we don't you don't want us to ban you. Good afternoon, Newtimes.
Good afternoon, Francois.
You see? Don't block the road, eh?
Good afternoon, Major.
Hey, good General. How are you doing?
No. Well, you know, boss, remember, you know, one time Major tell me he was thinking about coming to East St. George and asked me what thing he could win. I said, Major, you could win any seat in St. Vincent. Right?
I believe so.
But, Major, okay, it's nice for the joint meeting on Saturday, but I've been, well,
you're going about these days like before.
One in East St. George, not Calico, but you know, some other village in East St. George.
Yes.
You know.
Well,
but
after one time is two.
It's good to know that the party is organizing to get the message across. And I think people are listening and people are getting conscious because I left home today and I went down the road and surprisingly I was stopped by a gentleman who I know that you couldn't tell you nothing more than the star.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, great boy, I can't make it anymore because he said he's struggling. I said, well, boy, I expect you to come tell me you're struggling. You know, because you always in red, so you should be living comfortably. He said, boy, things real bad. I said, well, boy, well, it's only one thing you got to do. When the bell ring, you know what to do. He said, well, great boy,
make the change.
This time I got to make a change. So I hoping that
make the change.
He ain't get something an envelope and make a change your mind.
Make the change.
Well, you know,
there's always a risk. But the fact of the matter is that the parties and our polls tell us that we could win both the East St. George and the South Western constituencies. We know the Prime Minister is going to descend on East St. George as a battleground because his son is there, an heir apparent, and they will throw kitchen and sink after it. But every constituency has its own style and its own format, and Lavon has her approach to represent herself and within the heart and soul of the people of East St. George. And we will complement that with the strategies of the party. And it's targeted and is getting the very direct support of one of the senior parliamentarians to hold her hand and to make sure that she and our executive, which we are working hard on, to deliver to the constituency. So expect.
Well, Major, I want to say something and to the people in East St. George who listening to the program, right?
Yes.
Now, Major, I check in from Independence. Cato was the representative for East St. George. He was a lawyer, so he had to have some kind of university training. Right? Then after Cato, we had Louis Jones. Louis Jones didn't went to no university, but he represented the people. Well.
And it became East St. George.
Right. After Louis Stark, he spent a little time there, but he was not in government. And then after that, Borgin, they say Borgin went to university in England, all kind of thing, and we haven't seen anything delivered from him. He been replaced by Kamala, who they say is a lawyer, which he had to get some university training. And we are seeing, for example, so Lavon Gibson Villock, she didn't go to the university, but
she had the University of Life, and she has good, solid, practical banking, financial, cultural, sporting, and community experience.
Right, and I
skills.
expect her to do even better than what Louis Jones did in his time.
Well, so she'll build on it because Louis is a hard act to follow.
Right, so I'm just asking the people of East St. George to give Lavon the chance to represent us and to make sure that the NDP in government, that we can see what is happening, because major people of our age could speak about the difference between Labour and NDP, the young people them who now wouldn't know it. So we have to, when we meet with them, we have to keep explaining to them what was it in the time of NDP and now.
Yeah.
And Major, I want to do one thing before I go. And because the question with the Prime Minister asking women to make more children. And I will like somebody to do a study for me. for the last 5 years, how many young men under age of 40 was killed. And let us know the population in the prison and the amount of persons under the age of 40 that is in the prison.
I asked that question in Parliament, you know.
Right?
You have that question in Parliament.
And give us another figure of how many police officers had leave the force and Coast Guard had leave the force within the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And then when we get those figures, we should have an idea why we have a problem with population. Is not that people not making children, but the hardship causing people to run away and some to commit crime and do all kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Major, when the 5 guys get shot down in Kingston, a young lady said to me, they say, "Great boy, like we have to come back to all the old men because young men them
well, hey, Great, and you're the owner, boy. You're the owner. Don't look for me for no help."
So Major, if we keep losing our young men in these different ways,
yeah,
and again, in the mental health, we hear how much people under the age of 40 is in the mental health center.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Because Major, in Calico, when you're in Calico on a daily basis, the amount of young people you see walking and, you know, they're living over there.
But I hear you have to have high heel shoes to walk in Calico these days.
Well, Major, my vision ain't too good, but boy, Major, I don't know. Something is wrong.
You're allowed to be able to steps.
Well, because I know it's too hard, I know where to go.
All right, buddy.
You know?
All right, just so you can catch crab again.
But Major, I'm hoping we ain't get no heavy rain that them two water we flood Calico and then we go see danger.
Oh boy. I know.
Gentlemen.
Thanks.
Yeah, gentlemen, I'll continue listening. All right.
Okay, there are two things I want to make.
Wait, I think I put somebody in hold for a while. Let me see if they're gone. Okay. Sorry about that.
Two things that great question provokes. One, and somebody did call out on the program earlier on today. And it's a very, very important question. In fact, it will be raised. It will be raised. Is that we are getting further and further behind with respect to the national census. Census are supposed to be every 10 years. So when this government came into office in 2010, there was a 2010 census, keeping track with how things are done. Unfortunately, we didn't have a 2000 census, I said, right?
They said 2010.
2000. When they came in office in 2000, there was a 2000 census.
Yes, and not after
so the next census should have been 2010. That did not happen until perhaps about 2012, fire included. So it got about behind by 2 years and some. Now we should have had it, tried to have it in 2020 to get back in line. Rather than getting back in line, we're into 2024 with people not being paid and private people who contract out resigning till they're going back now to handpick laborers and public servants for the most part to do it for them. And it looks like we're going to 2025, so we might be 5 years behind. So we don't know what the things are. So that's one. The call is there.
Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Good afternoon. Are you there?
Good afternoon. Is that the Magic Jack?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I was holding on for several minutes and then you cut me.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Hello, neighbor.
Well, you know how to stand at ease, so I don't know. And if you stand at ease, you could go stand easy if it's even more relaxing position. So.
Well, that is true. I don't mind standing at ease at all, especially when you're on radio. Yeah, Major. I wanted to the last time when I joined late, so I don't know what was the main topic.
I joined late as well. I didn't come until after lunch myself.
Yeah, so I just want to back up a couple of meetings you had, a couple of programs you had. I want to raise the question of the NIS again, but just before I ask the question, I just want to endorse what the last speaker was talking about, making the comparison of various representatives in East St. George. As you know, I started studying public administration at the open campus back home in the 90s. And one of the things that was brought out is that you don't need to be no highly educated person to be a policymaker or a public a politician, in other words, because
that's part of it. You don't have to be certified.
Right. You commit to design that you have an administrative subsector to advise you, or the bureaucracy, where you have technically trained people. So the whole idea of over-inflating people with degrees, sometimes they end up in ministries they don't have any clue about. They still have to consult the technocrats in the department. So that's not a main issue. Is Ralph talking education? How much has Ralph achieved as leader of St. Vincent and Grenadines? That alone should tell people higher education doesn't necessarily make you a good politician.
Absolutely.
Let me go back to my question.
And you have a lot of people names you could call. I mean,
Yes,
Jerry Scott comes to mind, for example. And
Major,
some of the best, yeah.
Major, you are probably one of the most experienced businessmen in St. Vincent, and particularly in politics. You know business from cottage industry right up to university level, and you yourself have been a good businessman yourself.
Well, from the market, I
remember when you used to sell turtle wax. All I remember is the ad.
The first person to bring turtle wax to St. Vincent was yours truly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you have a business head from a practical point of view and an academic point of view. So I think you would be an asset to the government of St. Vincent Grenadines business-wise. Hence, I heard your comments on the meeting you had with the NIS people, and I think they were wise to bring you on in the discussion, because who knows, next time around you all would be in government.
Most definitely, we will be.
The issue that I really wanted to raise was the way I still think, I live overseas, yes, and I still think that the diaspora can make a significant contribution to the NIS.
Absolutely.
Using myself as an example, I had put in like maybe 8-9 years of service in St. Vincent.
Yes.
And contributed to the NIS while I was there. Then I migrated, 7 years I think, migrated before becoming eligible for a pension. I learned pretty late that I could have paid up from overseas.
Yes.
And so I did. So I am entitled to NIS payments in St. Vincent, even though I live overseas.
Right.
But the question is, there are people over here who would like to make an investment home, and the best place to do that is the NIS.
I agree.
And even though,
well, I won't say the best, one of the best places.
It's safe. Yeah. Nothing more safe than it should be more safe.
Yes.
So banks will close down, and I shouldn't close.
No, because government will have a responsibility to float them.
Yes. So, but they have to figure out a way of making it attractive.
I think that they're going to visit the diaspora with management teams to sell themselves and to try to win the confidence of the diaspora. Because you're absolutely right. The diaspora by itself could turn the NIS around if they are very successful there.
In 1 year.
Remember, we have Brooklyn, for example, is the largest concentration of Vincentians in the world, even larger than Kingston.
Correct. And that's why you have things like the consulate and so on should be looking into stuff like that, recruiting people for those things. But
absolutely,
I want to draw from my own experience because I am entitled.
And we could also target our Garifuna community.
But of course,
and go back to the Youth Citizenship Program that we spoke about.
Let me tell you what happened to me in my own NIS situation. Even though I had made contributions from home, finish up here, and I was contributing at the highest level that was allowed from up here. So I should spend a good few $1,000s every quarter. When it came to figuring out my payments, they were treating me as an employer-employee situation.
So you're paying double.
I have no employer making contribution to my NIS.
Yes.
It was straight out of pocket.
Yes.
So how are you now going to treat me as an employee and deal with me at least half of the level of my contribution and factor in some of my payments back then when I worked home? I don't think that was fair.
No,
so
that wouldn't.
I don't think so.
That wouldn't be fair either. No.
The NIS has to figure out a way of making it attractive for voluntary contributions on a personal level.
You're making very, very important points, and I'll raise some of these issues for clarification with the NIS. And they listen.
We need to check that out.
And they listen. It doesn't need any hostility. We can soberly speak to them on things that can make the institution better.
So just for clarity, you're making a contribution, but you came over as if you're employing yourself technically. So you're making two payments, one as employer and one as the employee.
Yeah.
When you just want to contribute as a what's it? No, but it's
voluntary.
Voluntary, yes.
Because
Voluntary
it was totally
contribution.
voluntary, you know.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
I need
I think I'll get that
clarification.
clarification that you're seeking, which is quite valid. In my
Yeah,
mind,
so
at least, yes.
I am putting it over in your hearing because I see you as being one of the guys who have the kind of expertise and experience
Yes.
to help turn around the economy of St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Well, thank you.
And I right there with you.
Thank you very much.
God bless, man.
Blessings.
Thank you very
That's
much.
a very
Thank
important
you.
contribution.
Yeah, I want to just.
But
throw that
before
in.
you go, because I don't want to lose me thought, because Gray made a point,
Mm.
and we need to understand that there are two different things. He's right and wrong, but not so right on the second point. St. Vincent's population is declining as a result of two things. One, a declining birth rate, in that we are making fewer children. So the natural progression is not taking place. So that one is why we're going down. The second is the net migration,
Sure.
the amount of people who are leaving. So even if we check the migration or immigration problem, that is the people who are leaving St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we continue, because people are not making children at the same rate as in the past, we'll still have a slowdown. But I'm not making the case and saying that we need to speed up,
I know.
But I'm also accepting that the country is, by the economics of the day, underpopulated, because any country needs to have a marketplace to do business. If the market is too small, then it's not attractive for investors, it's not attractive for domestic investors and so forth. But I'm not holding
So all the elements of a good marketplace need to be there.
Needs to be present. You understand?
Exactly.
So you can't tell people go make more picnic unless you go mine picnic.
Yes,
You have to find job and employment.
And I think the stats over the years have shown that a lot of the children
The unemployment
are
is
unemployed
far
people.
too high. It's far too high.
And that alone tell you unemployment is very high. This is okay, Magic Jack. Good afternoon, Newtimes.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
afternoon.
Major, I
Yes.
just want to throw out a question. I just curiosity, not even that too.
Curiosity
But
kill the cat, you know.
I heard people are talking about it. They're talking about it, right? Major saying that we are not getting transparency and we are not getting accountability. Do you think that anybody could listen to what I'm saying? Do you think at any time that St. Vincent and the Grenadines at any time could, I don't know when, could be on the blacklist?
On whose blacklist?
Huh?
On whose blacklist?
We don't know any country anywhere. St. Vincent?
Well, I understand the question, but St. Vincent is a sovereign state. And people can't just pull you over the hammer and flog you like if you're the child because you're not in accord with what they're saying. But it's in our interest that the government appears to be an honest broker so that they can attract the confidence of foreign direct investors and sovereign countries to put their monies and their country's taxpayers' monies into our hands. Otherwise, they will be reluctant. But they couldn't blacklist us in terms of institutional membership, to which we are members of important world bodies, for which that becomes a disclaimer, like, money laundering and a number of agencies, export of certain agricultural produce.
Yeah, the money laundering. Because look, they were investigating this man Manafort some time ago down in St. Vincent.
Quite true. And he did a real sentence in the end.
And we did not know FDI was down there, we're reading,
Yes,
So
yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good.
Thanks. I think the caller raised that already. I dealt with it. Just something before I miss it that I think I got it from the gentleman, and now I think about it. If I'm your employee, you pay half and I pay half.
Well, a little bit more than half.
A
little bit more than
right.
half.
But no.
Because it's now gone to it was 10%, but from this month it's gone up to 11%. So
I think what the problem is, if I am paying for myself, do I pay full 11%? I think that's where the issue is now. So I'm self-employed.
So
but do I have to
I'm
pay?
employer and employee.
Right, so I have to pay the full amount myself as opposed to and I think that is a discouragement. But you have to look at it because the economics is there still. Because
I think that's an easy clarification. And I feel comfortable to saying that the NIS will put the diaspora community in the best position that they can to encourage them to become members of the NIS, to improve its contribution portion of the exercise.
Yes, definitely.
In fact, I have a question from a caller. I don't know if he's still here. He's going back. He's sailing, but he gave me some homework to do. I met him at Joe's shop in Green Hill. He sails. He actually gave me the figure that he made monthly as a contributor. I think it was $140 something, close to $150. And he's just about 48 years of age. 79. Yeah, 70. Yeah, I think he's 76, 48 years of age, which means he has another 12 years to pay. And he's trying to make a calculation. Am I better off taking that $150 per month, which is called $1,800 a year, put it into a bank account which snowballs, compound the interest, which is not very much these days. And when I reach to 60,
I go
for it. Or do I put it in the NIS? And find out when I reach 60, I have to wait for another 5 years before I could get it. And then
it's a good calculation.
Next to nothing. The truth of the matter, in most instances, and the NIS will tell you that, what you recover from the NIS in about 3 years is almost equivalent to what you have paid nearly 30 plus years putting in, because that's how the scheme is. So people, generally speaking, don't lose in that regard. So those people who die before receiving the benefit and so forth, those are the people who are short. So NIS is a worthy investment, and I would not discourage members from becoming members of the NIS.
Okay, Major Chinita, there's something
and we're out of time here.
No, we have at some point. Let me take the call first. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Major. Good afternoon, Bert.
Good afternoon, my friend. Good to hear from you.
I wanted to jump in on the
Yeah, if you were not a lawyer, I would say, who is this nice and sexy voice call inside here? But then I don't want nobody go and take down the shotgun and all this kind of thing. so I'm only saying
they don't have one again.
I'm only saying what Bart wanted to say. and not brave enough to say it. But good to hear, my friend. Yes.
Okay.
How you going?
I wanted to jump in on the fact that we are underpopulated.
Yes, okay.
And we need to be careful with the advice or the advice from the
man we have here.
Man who don't be
who visits our country.
All no confusion,
Because as Bert was saying just now, it's they have to have all the components. You can't just tell people make children. You have to have all the components. I mean, I have 5 children, so I contribute.
Right. So you have your quota.
I have my quota.
You have your full quiver.
Exactly. But the thing about that is, it's one thing to say have children, but we don't have the other components here. Our economy really is not at a level to support it. So it's scary saying that, and we have to be careful because some people can say, well,
and you're a person who can take care of yourself.
Exactly, and it's still difficult, mind
you. So it's an egg and chicken situation
so
too.
You can imagine the people who are not in your position,
because you want to give your children the best.
Of course.
And then you can't because the economy is really so rough here.
Yeah.
And, they're not in touch with reality. They're not on the street. They're not on the ground to know how people are suffering.
Yeah.
We have to depend on the remittance. That's how most of us are surviving in Stevenson. It's just that simple.
Yep.
MoneyGram and Western Union, and the amount of people that come begging. So please, I just want to say to the listeners, do not follow our PM.
Good advice.
Very careful because we can't afford it. Yes, as Major was saying, yes, is we underpopulated, but we don't have the other components, so we in trouble.
And there's a lot of things. More children mean more of everything.
Exactly.
More education, more
schooling,
more transportation, more schooling, more social services, more everything.
Yeah.
So I says an egg and chicken thing. You could say the country need you. The country need you to make more children, but you also need to make children with responsibility that you could take care of them.
And the country need to do something about, the government need to do something to help with the economy. What are they doing? Because they need to improve the economy before they could tell us to multiply more. They just can't say multiply and then next thing they're not doing their part, because it's just one thing to say that, but you have to do your part. What about employment? What are you doing to increase that?
Yeah, because just to say so without for the contribution, it's reckless and irresponsible.
Yes.
It's reckless and irresponsible because you dealing with people who could totally misunderstand,
And what the government planned to do.
Because coming out from all of that, I saw, and I was shocked actually to see the report that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 80% of the women who make children
unemployed.
Not just unemployed,
unmarried. That's still getting
80%, and the lowest I've ever got is in the 70-something. So that is to put another way to say, there's a high, very very high percentage of families that are single parent families. And oftentimes women are the ones who are either unemployed or underemployed, and that has serious social implications for the society. So you don't just make those statements without understanding the dynamics of it.
It is reckless and really irresponsible. Sometimes you have to wonder.
Yeah, and it's rough.
Mindset.
It is rough, very very rough.
So good afternoon. Have a pleasure.
Well, thanks again.
Thanks
again.
I
apologize for Boat's statement, but you know it to see him and meet him, and you know how to deal with it. If you can't, then I will speak to your husband and say that has your wife reported that? I remember he's my friend, so
yes.
Very good.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. All right. So Major, we kind of out of time, but attempted. We squeezed it.
I remind people to there's a registration there. Go and check your ID. If you got it in 2014, it's probably up now. If you're a first-time voter, remember you're coming with your papers, your original, your photocopies, your married certificates, your light bill, phone bill, or identification as to who you are. Go ahead, but
I can give you a minute.
Okay, maybe I have to call back because I meant to make. Anyhow.
No, we're out of time.
No,
take the minute.
It's not Leeward, so I beg for not Leeward.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, I'll just ask one question. How are you responding to what I saw in the newspaper about NDP jackasses?
Well, you have to be a jackass.
I have a response.
You have to be a jackass to make that statement.
No, but
you heard my response?
We would.
So I haven't heard yet.
No, mine, not the party.
No, I haven't heard.
Okay, I'll tell you. If you take a stone, old people say, and pelt it in a pig pen, it's only the hog that get lashed to make plenty noise.
All right, but hey now, I wouldn't ask you, I would beg you all not to be overwhelmed by that. Because listen up.
Far from.
Let's just bear me out. The jackass has been the reliable
vehicle
animal which has provided strong support
to
the farming community over the centuries.
Strong and sure-footed.
And when the jackass is on the run, rats will have to scamper.
There you go. I saw one in Trimako the other day, for a little while.
So stay strong, my friend.
Okay.
Blessings to you.
Thanks.
But
I
see you at the public meeting on Saturday night. You don't have to take the Admiral Express Gemstar.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Congratulations
JLT.
on behalf of Chevron and the Jennifer for making the trip down to Canavan. Yes, Major was there in living colors. He wouldn't get sick.
I didn't get
And
I travel well.
Bot and Daniel Cummins didn't go. Is that what you want to say, Major?
In that order. That order.
The tag. So remember Saturday, we'll get the fine tune, but I think we were 90% sure of the information. Well, so this Saturday, meeting of South Windward and East St. George, and most likely by the Diamond Gap there. That's on the boundary for both constituency, about 8 o'clock, and you'll hear from both Andrew John and Lavon Gibson. All right, so they'll be there on that meeting along with other persons. So you'll get information. So keep that in mind. Keep your calendar free, and see you there. Do have yourself a lovely day. Tomorrow's a Thursday. Be the